Ladies and gents, in the final series of the group stage, winning team here will advance to the playoffs, and then the losing team will be out. In the blue, we have the Slammer. Slam is playing for Team Slapody, which is Slam, Kapoch, and freaking Andy. And Slam's playing as the Hindustanis up against Miguel, and Miguel is playing as the Romans for Team BarbeTacos, which is Miguel, which is Team Miguel, Dogal, and Kingston. I think their name is, I guess, like Brazilians are known for their barbecue, maybe, and like, well, certainly Mexicans known for their tacos. So interesting team names. This map is called Sturt Stony Desert. And obviously a lot of the maps are played for team games, but to decide the first point, it is a best of 3 separate 1v1s. So Slam seems to know the map here. He's going to walk out towards the middle and try and bring in this Rhino here. A Komodo Dragon's not too pleased about it, but I think, if anything, the Komodo actually helps Slam here because it'll block the Rhino. Other ways around the map, you've got Rhino on the back for Slam to still take. Has the gold on the back too. Stones around. So Slam could actually take this Rhino and still have the Rhino on the back. So 3 Rhinos for him. Water towards the middle, I don't think will be a big talking point. It's probably not worth docking, but I think the crossing in the middle will be important, depending on where players choose to take wood. Miguel has actually chosen to take wood in the very back. And Miguel brought in 1 Rhino. May come out here to take this one. I don't think you need the 3rd Rhino, but you got options to work with here. So my expectation here would be Scout Spearman. And that would suit the Romans. But eventually could get a little awkward here for the Romans. I actually think Cav Archers or Hindustanis might feel like a natural play. Unless the Romans can really get some snowballs going and get the Scorpions out. So, someone says, is this map inspired by Pembroke Pines? I don't know. I also don't know what Pembroke Pines is. When I say things like this, I really hope that 90% of my chat doesn't know what that is, so I don't sound like an idiot. But yeah, I have no clue what that is. Is this going to be a dock? Here for Miguel. Huh. All right, well, I mean, there's shorefish, and if you had a ship here, it would stop Slam from crossing through the middle. Yeah, ZOZ, I think the name of Pembroke Pines actually sounds like a Roller Coaster Tycoon map, but I don't have it memorized. God, I still haven't been able... I wanted to play Stronghold so bad, do that on stream, but I haven't had the time. And I also want to do like a Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 stream at some point. Things are just so busy, man. Also, what happened here with Slam? He started to build a dock. And I think misclicked. And so dock's a little delayed. Not too big a deal otherwise as they head towards Feudal. So someone asked me if the map was inspired by Pembroke Pines. And now has not clarified on what that is. And no one else seems to know what it is. Come on, what are you doing to me? Still nothing. Okay, well, they're busy. It's fine. They're running back to their computer right now. They have me up on the TV. But yeah, if life settles down a little bit, if there's not tournaments every other second and crazy content that I'm working on every other second, I would love to branch out and play some different games. I will say, though, and this is obviously a positive for you guys, I don't foresee things slowing down anytime soon. I'm going to be flying off to Spain on Monday. Be closing out this event Thursday through Sunday. And Monday, Tuesday this week, we'll be stacking up some cool videos for YouTube. So, and that's before I even mentioned that I have an announcement next Sunday. That's before I mentioned that I have another announcement before the end of the year. So, should be great. It really bothers me. Still don't have an answer from that individual. Maybe he'll come back. I don't know. Maybe I didn't respond to his question, and then he just pieced out. Maybe he had to walk the dog. I don't know. So Romans are one of 2 civilizations that do not get demos. which is kind of sad if you want a demo through the middle, but it's kind of nice for Slam, in all honesty. I'm still really surprised that they both docked. I haven't really hugely benefited from the dock. Stable's what I was expecting. So there's Slam with that, and then there's a stable for Miguel as well. Slam has been playing a lot more Age of Empires than I think people realize. I think some people will base their activity, like what they know about a player's activity based on, like, are they streaming, if they're a streamer, or the tournaments, right? Otherwise, you guys probably aren't really keeping a close eye on... Whoa, how did that spearman not get attacked? What? Oh, there he goes. Oh, God. Now he's going to be attacked by this one, too. But, like, a lot of people aren't really paying attention to players' profiles to see how active they are in, like, let's say team games or ranked games where, you know, there's no stream or something. Look at Slam. Oh, my goodness. Slam is actually going to save this villager. Beautiful job there. But Slam's been playing a lot. Slam has been playing a lot of team games, and he should be in pretty good shape. Miguel, on the other hand, I don't think has been playing near as much. And I'm really confused why Miguel opened up with a galley. I feel like that makes no sense in close quarters. So, honestly, I'm going to go as far enough to say that that's a misclick from Miguel. Still, there has been a lot of Miguel sending in pressure towards Slam. Hasn't killed anything, but it's been good initiative, at least. He'll transition to the farming eco behind this. No villagers on gold for Miguel, so he's just going to eventually lose this dock. And Slam going scouts, but will now go into the range behind this. This is still open, I think? I can't actually click it. Looks like, yeah, it's probably still open. And here... Oh, man, Slam kills a villager. And Miguel had to delete a house to try and save the vill. Villager was not saved, and now he needs to scramble up a house. That's rough. Those are just a couple goats. Miguel still looking for damage somewhere. He should know archers will be on the way from Slam. But the position seems a little awkward for him to consider any skirms. Slam doesn't know where Miguel is taking wood right now. So I wonder if he's considering the possibility that villagers could be here. If you get archers here, Miguel is so far away from his TC, it would be devastating. But he hasn't scalded it. And what Slam has sacrificed this game with all the things he has done is he sacrificed the farming count. So he's only on 6. Miguel's up to 10. And Miguel has his berries. Still, I think I prefer Slam's position because he's going to have archers and scouts. These are also Hindustani scouts that can melt feudal age buildings pretty quickly. A weak villager is in there for Miguel. Slam's going to want those archers to pick off those spears soon. I think Miguel's just waiting to see if those archers are going to show up somewhere. Feels like Slam is trying to protect this crossing because that's where the archers will come. And yeah, here they come. Miguel was just there. Like, he was just waiting for them. I think he's been waiting for them for so long. And now he sees that archer and must see the other ones there too. So now Miguel knows he needs to prep. This is going to be tough. The fact that Slam's been able to group up everything together is really important here. Miguel is making skirms. So depending on the micro, the skirms can take care of those archers and Miguel could be fine. Miguel with slightly more resources collected. And that's Roman efficiency for you. Also think this woodline choice really helps the efficiency. I think there's more wood on those trees. Am I wrong? Yeah, acacia trees are 150, so yeah. It's so weird. I know more forms of trees than I probably ever would have known in my life just because of Age of Empires. And it's only because different types of trees have different amounts of wood. If every tree in the game had 100 wood, I would never memorize the type of tree. But I now know in my brain, acacia tree, 150 wood. Baobab tree, 200 wood. And I was watching a nature documentary last year. It was like one of the many David Attenborough ones. And I'm a little embarrassed by this, but you guys will appreciate it. It's like showing this area in Africa, and it shows a baobab tree. And I go to my fiance, I say, hey, babe, that has 200 wood. And she was like, what? I was like, in Age of Empires, that tree right there, that has 200 wood. And she didn't, she didn't really think it was that funny. But I appreciated it, and I hope you guys do too. Wow, Miguel is playing really good. I really thought that this combo from Slam was gonna overwhelm Miguel, but then by the time Slam got here, Miguel added in a lot of army. Now, Bloodline's just completed for Slam. That's a big game changer here with the Scout War. And Forging is in. So this is Slam's moment. And just as it looked like Miguel was starting to match Slam's production, Slam one-ups him with some of the upgrades. Miguel still hasn't killed a unit here this game. That's pretty crazy. Slam still... It's really just the scouts that are most important thing right now. And he's got the lead there. In Slam's case, archers still do decent damage against scouts. In Miguel's case, that's not the case with the skirms. The skirms can only fight against those archers, which is what makes it so tough. You need the skirm micro to be perfect. Look at all these farms that have been abandoned. When you can do this, sometimes it's the best you can get at this level. A lot of players will actually just maintain control of this hill and not leave. Just because that's a lot of idle time. Slam's still moving around. Slam's still with Bloodlines, and Miguel doesn't have that upgrade. And this is a big fight, and I think this is a fight that Slam will win. Yeah, he will dominate this fight, and it's bad enough where maybe this could lead to the GG call. Slam can use these scouts to kill these vills. There's no army for Miguel. And honestly, I'm impressed with certain aspects of Miguel's play, but Slam's just playing like a beast here. I would have said that Slam would have been the favorite before if you told me this would be the matchup. He's more active. I think he's... Like, Miguel's more of a classic pro. I think where he really slots into play in this type of tournament would be the pocket position in team games. It works well with Dogao. Has known Dogao for many years. We'll see him maybe in the 1v1s next. And, oh, no. Slam had no clue this whole game that this is where the wood's been taken. He just happened to catch a glimpse of it. And now it's feast. It's not beast mode. It's feast mode. Yeah, maybe Miguel's actually okay. A lot of the scouts are weak. He does have skirms. He does have spears. The spears are going to get picked off, but so are the archers. So, yeah, I don't think Slam will kill a ton more now. But actually saying that, can still run around with the scouts. Look at Slam's resources. This is crazy. He can go for camels. He can go for cav archers. He can go for a boom. And Miguel hasn't even clicked up to Castle Age yet. So, like, Miguel may even see Castle Age from Slam and consider to call it. Depends on how much fight he's got left in him. But it's going to be tough for him to even scale this army now. And it is cav archers for Slam. Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's because the Romans typically play into heavy spearmen. And they rarely play into archers, I guess. But cav archers feel like a really nice opening on open maps against Romans. It does get awkward in a closer game if the Romans can start to mass loss of scorpions against that. But, yeah, it just, from the start, always felt like a cav archer situation for Hindustanis. Maybe other civs would go for different units there. Slams slides in with 2 more archers, kills 2 more vills. Miguel's still not in Castle Age, and he just calls the GG. And so Slam takes the first win. So, because there's questions, I shall say it again. That is not a win, okay? That is 0.5 of a win. That is win 1 out of 2. So, it's a best of 3 with the 1v1s. We'll now probably have either Freakin' Andy or Capwatch against Dogao or Kingston. If Dogao or Kingston win, that ties it up 1-1. You get the first win by winning your 1v1s in a best of 3. All right? Is there snow on the ground where you live right now, chat? Probably not. I mean, I don't know. Odds are pretty decent depending on where you're from. It's getting to be winter in many areas. There's snow here. So we've got a Brazilian versus an Argentinian on a snowy map. What, are they both going to have no clue what to do? Because it's so freaking hot there. Here we have Dogao in the blue. And we have Capwatch in the north in the red. We've got Byzantines for Capwatch. We've got Saracens for Dogao. This map is really fun. It's called Arctic Circle. So I'd say the the big thing about this map that you need to recognize, as there's all this fish, is that land units can walk over the water. Maybe a type of ice, but you can have like scouts out here. You can have scouts and villagers out here, right? So just don't walk into the penguins. So it's a hybrid map. Byzantines are so good on hybrid maps. I think the key for Capwatch will be trying to find where Dogao is docked. And then adding those fires. And then for Dogao, I think Dogao can never dock the middle. It's too risky against Byzantines. Too close by for them to see you and stop you. And then I would say Saracens feel strong playing into heavy galleys, which is a little risky. It takes a lot of investment, but it could work. Or we could see archers. And of course, you have that market with the Saracens, so you kind of need to use that to gain some leads over time. That's pretty much it, guys. I just want to take a moment, thank some people. We're chilling here today. We got a full series. These guys are just going to push deer until they build up in feudal. Thank you. Dogal's deer was trolling him. His gold's looking very nice here. Thank you, Warped, for the prime. We have Grant High Pooba with the new sub. Zacalanche, thank you for 30 months. The Sunday morning AW2 and fall weather is rolling in. Great way to start the day. Man, I wish fall weather was rolling in. It is very warm where I'm at. When it's winter and it's like doomy and gloomy and cold and ice and dark in a lot of other areas, that's where I live is just, you know, the best place on earth. But I was just home with family in Pennsylvania and it was just starting to be very fall. And it was nice, man. I enjoyed that. But not as much as I enjoyed Lieutenant Dan gifting 25 subs. That is way better than the than the time I spent with family. I'm kidding. Mom, Mom, I love you. She's not watching. She's probably not home from church yet, so she didn't hear that. Thank you, Lieutenant Dan. Thank you. Any new people here today? There's got to be at least one person. We can verify this now. There's a message. If the message pops up and it's their first time chat, it'll say so on my side. Anybody? No new people? You think my mom is watching the stream while in church? Well, Mom, don't forget to subscribe for free with Twitch Prime. And actually, tell the congregation, there's probably a bunch of people at church that have Amazon Prime as well. Tell them how you can link your Amazon Prime, or not even your Amazon Prime, your friend's Amazon Prime with Twitch for a free sub. Let's see. Itter the Immortal says hi, T90. First message. Tommy Wong, new here. Welcome. Weezor. Arubio's first message on the channel is so slow, the cast. Well, thanks, Arubio. I'll just speed it up for you. Why don't I just talk faster? Just for you. Sheesh. All right. Anyways, there wasn't a ton happening here. There's a dock on the backside for Dogao, which I think is just so smart. You got to stay away from the Byzantine fires. And then Capwatch is docked the middle. I think there's a lot to be expected in this matchup. Even though there's a lot of different things you can do on this map, I think logic sets in, and Capwatch should even know there's not going to be a dock in the middle from Dogao. It would be pretty foolish to try and give the Byzantine fires a target. So Capwatch, he'll actually still place a second dock here. And Dogao is going to see that. But again, it's like, what do you even do if you're Dogao to contest that? It's really tricky. Because you're just going to be outgunned. And I think it's too close quarters for galleys, you know? And Capwatch will attack Dogal's scout. Dogao will have to back away. They're actually up at the same exact time. And we have to keep an eye out for if they might add a barracks here. I feel like that's Dogal's plan. I don't think that's Kapotch's plan. I don't know. Maybe Kapotch will actually make 2 fire ships and then realize there's no dock here. To me, it feels obvious, but I see everything, and I, you know, a caster thinks about things in a different way than a player would. Now, if you don't see any docks here, you can just go for fish right away. So yeah, he's actually making the fires, and Dogal is going to make a stable. So this is kind of good for Dogal, because the fire ship investment is a bit of a waste for Kapotch, but it does still protect the fishing ships and the villagers. So I don't see it as a big waste. I think it makes life easier for you when you eventually add more fishing ships here. And Dogal's going to see his opponents just now adding a barracks. And he knows his opponent's fishing. There might be some worry for Dogal that his fish die on the outside. So I would expect him to keep an eye on the backside here. Because he hasn't seen the second dock, right? If he knows about the second dock, he's like, okay, he made a mistake and added fires in the middle or something. But now you see the villagers on gold, and you see one dock here, and you know you're up against Byzantines. I would be paranoid and expecting pressure. I actually think that is why we have Dogal going over to gold, so he can make a couple defensive fires. And now watch, like Dogal's plan was to head to the middle, and it was to kill the fish with scouts and spears, but Kapotch's fires are not a waste at all, are they? Yep, it's really good. And so you just fish away, and you protect your fish with a couple ships. And if you're expecting a scout rush, you can add spears at home if you're Kapotch. And he did see, at least it was a barracks opening, he didn't see the stable. And Kapotch will also go to the outside. Maybe fish there, or maybe add some fires, we'll see. So I think that kind of tells Dogal that at least for now, he can't do anything about the middle. But he knows his opponent's barracks was a little late, so he's going to try and head over to land now. Thank you, Deity90, or Deity90. Not sure which. Thanks for the sub. Welcome. Pope Cheese says, you're an epic caster, so much fun to watch, listen, and learn. Oh, thank you. Don't always get so many compliments around here, you know? Too many jokes about my farms or, you know, my archer ranges on a certain neutral island. Nice fish boom from Dogal, but I'd start to get a little worried on the outside. He's been out here for a long time now. Byzantines had the opportunity to maybe sneak for a while now. Kapotch is going to add fires in the north. Nice find here from Dogal, and finally the scouts are going to pay off. This will be the first kill for Dogal, and it's on a villager, and that should be a second. Oh, man, he actually... Oh, when he got stubborn! Well, I think he felt like that villager should have died. And his units attacked other units there, and he ends up getting the job done anyways. Castlade should come in for Kapotch pretty soon, but look at Dogal. Dogal is going full scouts here. Full scouts, full send. His opponent's got 7 spears on the map and fires. This feels extremely ambitious, but I tell you what, Kapotch isn't going to expect this. All-in scout production is... It could work. I mean, you get enough of them, you can kill individual spears, you can kill the individual fires. But if Kapotch notices this and adds a demo or two, and just has his spears ready, I'd expect this to struggle. And here he goes. So he's going to go scouts against the fire. The fire ship backs away. Now the scouts against the spear. Dogal, what are we doing, bro? Is this worth it? It is worth it. It's not worth it. I can't tell. I think it's probably good for now. Like, this is the surprise. Right? So his opponent clearly wasn't expecting this many scouts. The vills are going to go down, and the fire ships go down. But Kapotch is on the way to Castle Age. And so Kapotch is going to have at least some level of an advantage there. No upgrades with the blacksmith, but Bloodlines was in, so the scouts had more HP. What I'd like to see is in this moment, Dogal actually add a dock as well. And oh man, he has no chill. He's just fighting off the spears, just like he's been fighting off the ships. And Capwatch is probably like, are you kidding me? This guy's crazy right now. I still think that this might not be the worst for Capwatch. He's got fish in the north. He'll be in Castle Age soon. But man, dude, I take it back. This is disgusting. Dude, guys, this is like a strategy where as a player, you think, I can't believe I'm losing to this. Like, I should never lose to this. On paper, spearmen and fire ships should kill scouts and spearmen every time. But because he didn't expect this level of commitment, it has worked. And in the south, Dogal's still fishing. And he's actually adding fires around the backside to maybe be able to kill the fish that Capwatch has around as well. It looks like maybe Capwatch got some kills there with those fires at one point. Now, Capwatch is in Castle Age. He's been working with a food eco of 2 farms and 4 fishing ships, though. That's it. Things are very messy. He won't be able to afford an awful lot here. And Dogal is on the way up. Dogal's had 9 fishing ships, and Dogal's had 8 farms. And he does have an awful lot of navy on the outside that he's still producing. So he's killed the stuff in the middle. Now this like navy isn't protecting a lot for Capwatch. And he's going to aim to control the outside, which Capwatch can't afford War Galley. So he can't really upgrade his units there. Scout's still roaming around, and a player like Dogal will love this control. No fast units to chase him down, though there is a knight from Capwatch. Dogal is pretty much completely walled, though. So those units won't get through. And I think Capwatch just noticed that Dogal's got a lot of navy on the outside. And still no overchops here. Dogal should be fine, and Dogal will arrive to the next stage with a lot of resources to play around with. And Dogal is going to have more scouts as well. There was a hole here! What? How is there a hole there? Huh? Oh, there was a hole here! Oh! It was all going so well for Dogal. That's so annoying. That's nice for Capwatch. He needed a little bit of something here because he's on 2 TCs. He's still got fish. He's adding the 3rd TC. Like, that evens out this game pretty nicely. And, oh, Capwatch almost killed that Vil as well. Now, the same approach could work for Dogal if he upgrades his stable units. Because it's still just feudal age units in defense for Capwatch. Capwatch seems to know, though, that his fish are about to get hit over here. Byzantine feudal age fires are actually very close to any other civ's upgraded fire galley. So this actually could be a fight that Capwatch still wins. He does have some weak units. And now the light cav are coming to the middle. And I think Dogal and this crazy strategy is actually working quite nicely here. He does fight before War Galley, but it's still fine because Capwatch didn't engage with these two because he wants to repair them. That's disastrous for Capwatch. This is still an area Capwatch needs to focus on. And Dogal now dropping TC number 2, dropping TC number 3. Loses some units in the middle, but he's just putting so much consistent pressure on Capwatch. Still with a safe fishing eco behind. And that's probably not going to be the case for Capwatch if this continues. Again, Dogal wins. We then go to a 3rd 1v1 for the first point. So that would be Freakin' Andy against Kingston. But Capwatch isn't out of it yet. He has the villager lead. He defends the fish on the outside and in the middle. And his farming eco is looking pretty nice. And he has Byzantines. So, you know, Byzantines are... They have so many advantages. The longer the game goes, the better it is for them. I would like to see Dogal add a dock here now. Like, a dock here for a couple demos would be really helpful. Or even just some fires mixed in. Counterattack from Capwatch with 1 knight. Found a villager kill. Dogal's still using knights now in the middle. And he will clear up these fires. Fishing ships for Capwatch have just been clicked around. And Dogal's not going to let those fishing ships run away much longer. Just a couple desperate demos here from Capwatch. Just to do anything he can against the knights that are there. Now, I feel like this is a great opportunity for Dogao to consider a forward castle. You don't normally see it against Byzantines, but I mean, Kapocz has nothing on the map except for water units right now. So, like, if Dogao has map control, walking forward here and dropping a castle would be really good. I'll give Kapocz credit. Like, he continues to hang around, right? Like, he makes his opponent work for every kill. Fishing ships being a great example. There he gets a conversion, but we'll lose the monk. And we'll lose the fishing ship. Dogao's starting to build outposts around. We'll see this open area. I mean, oh, sorry for the lag there. But, like, he's Saracens, right? And hold on. Kapocz gonna try and sneak by here. And Dogao's fishing eco really exposed. He doesn't have much navy on the outside. And Kapocz has 8 fires. And then he's got fires and demos in the middle. I'm going to tell you how this would go if I were playing right now. Okay? I would bring these vills. Send them forward. I'd sell all my food and wood. I'd buy stone with it. I'd place a castle here. And then it would get denied, and I would lose the game. I don't know how you expected that to go, but that's what would happen. I think it's a good idea still. I really think it's a good move, but I would probably get denied somehow, and, it would look bad. So, don't take my advice. That's also what would happen with Doubt, so at least, we're in the same company. Nice defense from Dogao. Come on, Dogao. Drop that castle, bro. Yeah! Let's go, baby! Oh, God. You gotta be kidding me. See? This is what I mean. Some stupid crap would happen. It's a great idea, but some stupid crap would happen. Kapocz just happens to have some fires there. And so maybe that's not a good plan after all. Kapocz upgraded his ships. That's going to be tough. Maybe a defensive castle's good. And a castle here to protect all this stone and gold can't be bad. And what a close game, guys. Res collected is even. Look at that. That's crazy, man. It is dead even. Look at this. More food and more gold for Dogao, though. But Imperial Age is cheaper for Byzantines. And hold on. Here we go. Sending the vills around. Bringing in some camels. I mean, from what I'm seeing, Kapocz has camels. Kapocz has monks somewhere. This could be denied. Dogao needs to get some quick walls down. He does. House, palisade. Okay, so it's blocked off. And uh-oh. I think Kapocz has the same idea. Kapocz is going to build his own castle behind. I don't think this will deny Dogao's castle, though. But it's kind of nice for Kapocz that he knows his opponent is doing this. And he is the cheaper imp. So I think canceling Vill production and clicking up the imp right when this castle goes up is key. Dogao is he's definitely, like, he knows his opponent knows. And only now he knows about the castle. And he's going to click up to imp faster. But still has a Byzantine castle to take down. And still has a lot of nonsense to deal with from Kapocz. Like, Kapocz still has these camels. Kapocz snagged a relic. Imp for Dogao. And imp for Kapocz seconds later, I'm sure. There it is. Yeah, advantage Kapocz, guys. Kapocz has more eco. He has more vills. He's got a Byzantine castle against the Saracen castle. So you can survive, like, what, 4 more Treb hits with Byzantines? He also is right next to this castle with his own economic units. So he could pull more vills for repairs and whatnot. And it's Byzantine fires. And I mean, Byzantine fires have definitely made a difference here. Also, Dogao is being attacked by penguins. And Kapocz is not. So, there's just not many things going right for Dogao at the moment. After a really good play in Feudal Age and Castle Age. Just, Kapocz dropped those TCs down. And he refused to quit. And he's super consistent with it. And it's what he's so good at as a player. You can't kill him. Like, if you're going to beat Catpotch, it always goes Imp. Always. You never kill him in Feudal Age or Castle Age. Especially when it's hybrid. And I think you could say the same about Byzantines, too. Knight gets deleted there. Now, the fishing ships themselves don't actually matter a ton right now. It's more about villagers and standard eco. And in terms of the villagers and standard eco, benefit to Catpotch there. Catpotch 107 villagers. Dogao only at 85. So Dogao just didn't have those TCs down fast enough. Remember, Catpotch was losing his fish, but he was on 3 TCs. That was before Dogao added any TCs. And also, the idle TC time for Catpotch is way lower. Catpotch wins this. His team gets the point to start it all off here before we move to the team games. And I'm liking his position. Now, double castle from Dogao makes things interesting. Dogao will have 2 trebs out. Catpotch will just have 1. But full camel? Full camel could potentially dive. It's not the best unit to go underneath, you know, Castle Fire with, but you could potentially dive. I don't know. These villagers are... They've been sent to the wrong gold. There's still gold over here, though, for Catpotch. 2 relics for him as well, which helps. This relic might get denied. And here we go. Byzantine camels are cheap. Saracen camels are full price, but they have lots of HP. If camels would be advertised on like a billboard somewhere, it would be these civilizations. One civilization, you won't believe how cheap these camels really are. And then you get them and you realize they're kind of crap, but it's okay in Age of Empires because more is better. And then Saracen camels, I guess their thickness would be advertised. There's a lot of value for what you pay. And you don't need the unique tech for it anymore. But I'm seeing 20 camels for Catpotch, and it's going to be 7 camels for Dogao. But Dogao, he will actually take out this castle here. And then if he goes Mamelukes with the chonky camels, could get really interesting. Oh boy, this isn't good. This is something Dogao lost track of. Dogao needs to keep this castle up, and he needs to use his own trebs to take out the trebs from Catpotch. That position is so important here. Here we go. 120 HP camel against 170 HP. But there's a lot of camels here for Catpotch. I want to actually compare the HP if I can click them. So 2,300 HP from 20 of them against 2,400 HP from 16 of them. Not bad. What a game. What a crazy game. Also, it's kind of crazy that the blacksmith researching technologies is right here on 47 HP. Catpotch losing his treb. Catpotch losing his camels. He's going to switch to pikemen now because of this. And this is an opportunity for Dogao to make a switch, maybe. Dogao's losing his navy on the outside. I'd love to see Catpotch consider some drawmans here, because he's still got so much on water. And Catpotch dives with his camels to take out the trebs. Dogao doesn't have fletching on the castle. And, oh, man, the castle's not enough. More camels are on the way. Trebs are being repaired. Dogao's going to be showing up with his own camels, though. Now Catpotch could lose his trebs to camels. Catpotch re-patrolled there all of his units, including the ones attacking the treb. So he's attacking the repair villagers, actually, which isn't bad. Lots of trebs will go down here. And Dogao's castle stays up. And the big, thick camels get the job done here for the Saracens. Let's go! Crazy stuff. He also is lacking so many upgrades. He only has +1 armor and +1 defense. What a game, guys. What a game. I still think these fires, and, you know, on the outside, on the middle, they matter, right? That control plays a role in this game. Dogao protecting this gold. Catpotch is going to run out of gold soon. No, sorry. He still has this gold, which is a pretty big deal. Dogao does know about that. Well, maybe think about raiding. Camel v Camel engagement has been great for Dogao, but it's going to be cheap pikemen now for the Byzantines too, which really means you need gunpowder, or you would need to have Mamelukes. And Dogao losing his camels here. So annoying. Dogao just clicks units out of his base and they just run into ships everywhere. It's so frustrating, I'm sure. Where's the hand cannons for Dogao? I saw chemistry come in. He's getting a blacksmith now to catch up with upgrades. He probably just realized he's behind there. And a couple camels raiding the golds over here is good stuff. This has been amazing. Okay, Kapotch, if he can't take the gold on the left, is out of gold, except for the 2 relics. Does he need gold for pikemen? No, he doesn't. But still, it's a pretty big deal. He can't make siege to push back this castle easily without golds. Dogao's going to drop the ranges. So if Dogao is like an extra 3 minutes, it's going to be hand cannon with camel. Hand cannon with camel wins this game. But I don't know if he's going to have the time. And Kapotch sending camels over here to free up that gold. He'll probably get what's left of it. Dogao healing up with monks and waiting for the push. Castle has fletching now. There may also be bombard cannons. Dogao's camels got lured out of position. Might have been looking back here or anywhere else. And Dogao is repairing the Treb with 1 Vil. Could be enough to keep the Treb alive because Trebs will miss for Kapotch most likely. Still don't see hand cannons out yet of these ranges. I thought I saw chemistry completed. And we're actually seeing Arbalest as the choice. Camel raid from Kapotch? I mean, why not, right? If you can't use the camels elsewhere. And now Dogao needs to make camels to clear up camels in his eco. Dogao's going to drop a castle here. A castle that Kapotch can't see, but he knew there were Vils here. He might deny that castle. Halb upgrade now in for Kapotch. Dogao's been so late to the range units, but he's going to build up a pretty crazy force, and the castle gets denied! Well, if there's one thing I'm surprised by here, it is, as that castle's denied at 99%, I'm surprised that Dogao isn't going hand cannon. Arbalest takes such a long time. You have to get crossbow, you have to get thumb ring. In theory, I think, like, Arbalest might be a little bit better. But I don't know if like, the amount of time he's given Kapotch has been the best thing. I love everything he's done with this position, though. I love his defense to give himself the time has been amazing. Here he comes with all of his camels. Dogao is going to get this castle up. But Kapotch has been able to get a decent amount of stone from this before it goes up. And be back on this gold. Okay, so Dogao might, or Kapotch might see this and say, I need skirm now. But that's something that he hasn't really fully teched into either. So that's going to take time for him. So advantage Dogao. At least until the gold is gone. How much gold is remaining? Quick walls from Dogao. Halbs are through. There's only 5k gold left on the map. Dogao is going double gold unit. Oh, and almost lost the bombard cannon. Camels probably need to be in position in the main fight. If you're going to raid at this point, you probably want to be raiding with light cav. Kapotch. You don't have many options in terms of raiding units. Still no Arbalest upgrade for Dogao. So he's just on crossbow with techs that are just now flying in. Kapotch may make a treb here. Dogao may make a treb here, but gold is hard to come by, like we said. Halbs have found decent Vil kills, but not enough. And Dogao is... Oh, he micros! He noticed it! And Kapotch noticed it, but he loses his treb. Oh, that's really high value there for Dogao. And the camels also made it into the back. Kapotch is losing lots of Vils. He'll kill the camels, but still... There's also still Halbs around, and Dogao hasn't actually noticed this. What a crazy game. Arbalest can be met by skirmishers. There's actually ranges up for Kapotch. It's cheap skirmishers for Byzantines. He could be okay here. The fishing ship's going down for Dogal. Halb's got some value over here. There's still this area over here where Kapotch is going to have Trebs. Kapotch could do this, guys. But if Dogal goes with... If he had everything right now, his camels and also his arbs, he would, and push this castle, maybe that would be it. I think he is going to struggle a little bit if he doesn't start to make a unit that doesn't cost gold. But maybe that's his thinking. He's probably thinking, you know, if this is a no gold game, it's over. So I gotta spend all my gold and kill fast. Bombard cannons could be that answer to the skirms. Here he goes. Kapotch using Trebs in his own cannon here against the Trebs. This is a ridiculous game. Both players have been around so long. Both players playing so amazing with their experience here. The initiative is here for Dogal. He lost one of his bombard cannons. He'll take the castle, though. Other two cannons still standing. Now there's not that protection for Kapotch. This means that Dogal can advance forward. Treb down for Dogal. He's got 4 bombard cannons on screen, though. Kapotch only has 1. And Kapotch loses... Oh, no, he didn't lose it. I'm just blind. He's going to lose his Treb, though. He doesn't have the skirm numbers, though. The only positive for Kapotch would be that over here he's taking out this castle. That's an important area to lock down. But he can't lose this. Because this is like... You lose this castle, your whole eco gets raided. And I think Dogal, just as he's running out of gold to collect, with 0 relics, I think is actually going to hit Kapotch at the perfect time. Because the Trebs can't be stopped. There's still 40 Arbalests. Dogal is still queuing camels. Kapotch is probably like, how does he have the gold for this? What is happening? But Kapotch's population is dropping. Still hoping to take out the Treb. Tries to take out the bombard cannon there. A lot of the camels for Dogal just went down. But the bombard cannon for Kapotch will go down. Arbalests are still underneath skirm fire and castle fire. Byzantines are insane, guys. And what have I been saying about Kapotch? He refuses to die. You just can't kill him. It's the perfect civ for this player. He takes the score lead. Remember, 2 relics. Cheap spears, cheap skirms. Dogal's going to run out of golds. And Kapotch was just buying stone. Investing so much into repairs there. And now we finally see Dogal make a unit that doesn't cost gold. That's going to be his own skirmishers. As his Treb has to back away. And we got Halbraid. We got Trebs on the water. Tons of crazy stuff happening over here. What a game. And if gold doesn't make the difference, I'm going with Byzantines every single day. You don't even need 130 villagers in late game with Byzantines. What you need is about 100. And you need the technologies in for your trash units, which Kapotch already snagged. He snagged every single upgrade possible for the Halbs and the Skirms, and he's got enough food and wood to produce. Good luck to Dogal from this point. He did snipe the Trebs here, but the only gold that's remaining is actually over here. And Dogal... He might be... I don't know, like, if regret's the right word. I don't even know what to suggest. Maybe, like, Hussar could be good. I don't think there's a lot of regret for either player. I think both players have just played amazing. And they've kind of matched each other. Another thing to think about in late game, guys, is castle positions. So Kapotch kind of has a castle on either side of his eco to protect things. And this area over here is wide open and exposed for Dogal. So I think he really does need to push this area. Like, this is all... This area decides the game. He loses this castle, he'll get raided to death over time. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, no! Dogal loses a bombard cannon. So punishing. You don't pay attention for a second. Another bombard cannon went down, but one went down for Kapotch as well. Kapotch trying to kill that cannon. Gets the cannon, but there's 2 more cannons from Dogal behind. Kapwatch could lose his Trebs. Still no relics for Dogal, but it doesn't seem like he's really giving himself the time to focus on that. The Treb goes down for Kapwatch. Army counts even again. Moments ago, it was like a 30 or 40 army lead for Kapwatch, but he wasn't able to do much with it. And now Dogal's back. He's pushing again. 1,200 gold remaining on the map. I don't really know. I guess that's this gold here. Yep. So the only gold is going to be taken by Dogal. That can give him 5 more bombard cannons. We're going to start to see light cav from Dogal instead of camels. But again, really hard to raid Kapwatch because of Kapwatch's castle positions. I think Dogal's unit control has been better. Would you agree with that statement? I think that's fair. His unit control's been better, but he has had more expensive units. And Kapwatch has done an incredible job producing lots of units. And at what point do they run out of wood? That would be some game. If they run out of wood on this game, this would be one of the best games ever. I mean, we would have another hour in this. There's still 65,000 wood. Maybe not an hour. Honestly, Kapwatch not having the second farm upgrade could really hurt here, because he's spending a lot more wood on the reseed. But that would only hurt again if the game goes on a lot longer. Look at this army from Kapwatch. He only has 98 vills. 95 vills, actually. So he has 100 population space for army. There's a stronger eco, though, for Dogal. And he did actually camp this wood line, and he's getting the Hussar upgrade, too. So he actually might be able to raid this wood line, even though the castle's close by. Bombard cannons for Kapwatch. On the castle, he also has Trebs. And it's really tough for Dogal to dive in here with Hussars to snipe any of this, right? Because the Halbs are always waiting. Dogal. He saves his bombard cannons. Don't ask me how. Kapwatch loses one. But Kapwatch is going to take that castle. Panic here for Dogal. We're going to see him buy stone. Yep, buy stone. Kapwatch, I think, reacting to the left side now. He's getting hit. So he reacts. He loses another cannon. Castle's still staying up for now, but it'll fall. Castle falls. Dogal's cannons backing away from the only gold he has. Dogal has a greater population right now. He's landing some nice bombard cannon shots. Actually, beautiful bombard cannon micro here. Kapwatch hasn't had the same micro today. And Dogal... Now, I think he misclicked. I think he tried to click the cannon and click to the side of the cannon so they'd roll forward. What is happening over here, though? Kapwatch just lost 30 vills over the last few moments, guys. And Dogal's still getting that last little bit of gold. He has 2 relics now. I think there should be one more. I think it's in the west. And it's going to be Hussar Skirm for Dogal. He's up to 70 on food. And is he going to snipe the cannon? No, he just missed it. Gets the Treb, though. And still keeps these bombard cannons alive. Man, he loses one. But the cannon micro from Dogal has been something else. Oh! And he rolls himself into the Treb. And Kapwatch just keeps coming with the spam. And now he loses a cannon. God, this game's insane. This game is just insane. I'm going to take you back to what I said before. Byzantines do not need as much economy. And a lot of the economy for Dogal that's all neat and tidy and working right now is right behind this. This is the window that decides the game. If Dogal can hold from this much army, he wins because he's got 50 more vills and can produce a lot more. But Kapwatch has 75 skirmishers. He's got an army of 75 skirms, 30 halbs. How are you supposed to kill that? The answer is you need to match it with your own skirms. And find some units to land some big shots on the skirm numbers combined with that. Dogal is having a tough time. He wants to engage with Hussars, but then the Halbs are always there. Also, a little raid over here from Kapwatch is pretty nice. Here's the engagement for Kapotch. He does have, for Dogao and Kapotch, rather. There is a bomber cannon coming back here. You have to pay attention to unit queue in these situations, too. And the unit queue for Kapotch is pretty healthy. He's still floating resources. It is for Dogao as well. Now only 50,000 wood remaining. But Dogao's held it. And if Dogao holds this position, he might get to a healthy enough pop to just run around with the Hussars and hit the eco again. If Kapotch isn't pushing him, that's exactly what Dogao should try and do. I think the presence of the bombard cannon behind all this has made it difficult for Kapotch to justify moving forward. And there go the Hussars now. They're going to spread their wings and fly. There's also skirms over here. They're going to hit the wood line. This is hype, man. Remember, this, if Kapotch wins this game, they win the first game in the series. If Dogao wins this game, we go to a third 1v1 to decide the situation here for the first game. It's clear to me that Kapotch is taking wood in areas that Dogao can access. Whereas there's still wood for Dogao available in the back of his eco. Only 50 skirms now for Kapotch. And only 72 vills for him. He is queuing up more vills, but the eco's not looking great. He will drop a TC there, though. Dogao is now starting to out-skirm the Byzantines. There's more skirm numbers right now. That's big. Again, 2 relics for both. How many resources Kapotch brought in with the relics? It's on screen, but it doesn't really matter now. Guys, I think Dogao has this one. He's really starting to pick the spots with the raids now. And he's holding here. So he's defending this area. And he's finding little chip damage that's slowly adding up on Kapotch. Kapotch doesn't have a great unit queue right now. A lot of that because he's producing more vills. But, I mean, there's still 100 army for Kapotch. And Kapotch just landed some big shots because Dogao's trying to get those raids in. It's 50 halbs, 50 skirms. Man, Byzantines are just the worst. Trying to kill Byzantines is just crazy. Oh, they're so tough to kill. There's a reason a lot of people ban them out of tournaments sometimes. They don't want to play against this civ. Investing wood into repairing the TC could even be expensive. But you have to keep that TC up to get more vills out. And Dogao did raid more over on this side. His Hussar's looping around. I think he wants the Treb. He'll get the Treb. He'll also take the bombard cannon. So no siege for Kapotch now. And that siege is expensive and costs wood, right? Still more skirms for Dogao in the field, despite the fact that Kapotch is 30 more military. But it's 30 more military because he's got 50 halbs. Is that the unit he needs? He does need halb, but the ratios are a little bit off. More buildings for Dogao. And Kapotch's farm count is going to struggle here. Like, he's not going to be able to reseed farms with the lack of wood. It's not like all of them at once, but even if it's just 1 or 2 here or there, that type of thing adds up. And a lot of that comes back to not having heavy plow. I don't think the game's decided by heavy plow. I think the game's decided by Dogao's ability to take really good trades despite having, more expensive units. And Dogao's did a great job with control this game. He is getting raided a little bit, but the skirms will clear that up. Dogao has matched the army count of Kapotch. He has siege, and Kapotch does not. And Kapotch has to fall back. There's no TC here anymore. Kapotch's skirms get splatted by the cannons, and the GG is called. Finally, Dogao is able to kill him. What a game, guys. From 2 legends. They are so freaking good. I think it's the longest 1v1 we've seen in this tournament. And Dogao wins. So, that now means we get another 1v1 to decide the first point before we move into the 3v3. So that will be Kingston against freaking Andy. And hopefully the game is as good as that. What a banger that was. We had, like over 300 villagers die that game? There's the res collected. It was just way more food, way more gold throughout the game for Dogal. To take trades like that is so difficult when the army is always higher for Capwatch. 110 army. My goodness. You see, like, Capwatch is so much faster to Castle Age. I love the play from Dogal. I didn't think it would work. The scout play in Feudal Age feels forever ago now, but my goodness, there's the speed between them. But yeah, what was the total villager count here? Total villager count in that game was 236 for Dogal. So he had to produce a lot of eco. And Capwatch, it was 209. And that was just because of the, again, quick maths here. What was it? 280 villagers that died in that game? Yeah, almost 300 villagers went down. Whew. All right, well. Oh, man, this map? Okay, so we got to change Andy to we got to change Andy to red. We have a close quarters border dispute type map. Winner of this gets the point for the team before we move into the 3v3s. It's Lithuanians for Andy, who immediately gets Loom and builds a mill in the middle. And then it is Teutons for Kingston, who immediately gets Loom and is building a mill in the middle. So, one of these players plays a lot of Black Forest and does a lot of Vill Warring. That would be freaking Andy. But Kingston's no stranger to it himself. And here we go. Andy kills a Vill. And I expect a lot more of this. Now, the food eco is actually in the middle. So I expect Andy to have a slight lead, even just because he has these two villagers bringing in food. Also took out the house foundation, so that means Kingston won't have the wood. So there's, 800 food here. And both players wanted it. And it's kind of cool. I mean, we've seen this map in 3v3s. I've not seen it in 1v1s yet. And I guess both players felt like in a 1v1, you just can't give up the middle. But big advantage for freaking Andy here, civ-wise. Starting with the extra 100 food allows you to run around with the Vills a lot more. And he also was on Shorefish longer this game, so he's been able to produce more too. So it's a 2-villager lead for Andy, all because of that. Andy is going to try and stop these sheep from being stolen, and Kingston says, "These are mine, for I am a shepherd." And, okay, well, he gives them back. We now got Vill fighting. We now got sheep being stolen. We now got sheep being stolen. We now got sheep being Andy's again. Andy's got all the sheep. Andy is making out like a bandit here. This could be a quick game. Andy's even attacking the mill. You actually can't let your mill go down, but there's no wood for Kingston. There's no wood. He had to build this house. He can't repair his mill. Oh, dude. And then he doesn't have sheep. So you won't have the food in the middle. You won't have your sheep. This is dreamland for Andy. I think Kingston is kind of out of luck here. I'm not really sure what to suggest. You have to try and fight this back. It'd be a little different if you had 8 sheep underneath your TC. But Andy's just done an amazing job. Andy up 3 Vills now, and Kingston has had way too much idle TC time due to how things have played out here. Andy's just too good with this stuff, man. Like, you get Black Forest players in this type of a scenario. As one of my USA teammates said, we were talking about Vill Warring, and he was like, "Dude, I do that every day." If you need a Vill War, sign me up. I do it every day. It's my life. It's kind of funny to watch these villagers just toss the nets in towards each other here. But 4-villager lead for Andy. Even going to bring in the Bourne out. Like, this is just perfect. I think you need something wild to happen now if you're Kingston. So, like, maybe fast feudal as fast as you can manage. And then you go for, like, tower rush. That's probably one of the best things you could try with the Teutons. I think if you're Andy, you go fast feudal here to prevent your opponent doing something aggressive against you. Can you TC drop here, guys? Teutons are actually pretty good at that. But where would you build the TC? I don't know if you can build... I guess you can build on this terrain. Some of it. Because they built the mills there. Well. We got a house here for Kingston. I literally ran out of things to talk about. We went from everything happening, and then I just comment on a guy building a house. But it is true. And he's trying to get as much food as possible. He's going to use a Vil to push in the ostrich, which isn't easy, because you could easily click the ostrich by mistake and kill it. And it's good that he's doing this, because Andy's coming over here to shoot these things down. Which is a smart move, and oh, the ostrich is escaping. 4 villager lead for Andy. 500 more resources collected for Andy. And I expect feudal age from him right away. And there he goes. Oh, shoot. He has a mill, but he doesn't have a lumber camp. It's so funny. On these types of maps, you're like... You sometimes forget what buildings you've built. You need 2 Dark Age buildings, so he actually can't click up. He definitely tried to click up there and then was like, oh. Whoops. 1 sec. I want to tab out again so I can see my sub list. I've been ruining my setup here with my screens here today. Yo, Freakadel, thank you for the 2 months. Freakadel, don't worry about it. We got more games here. This is like, whoever wins this game gets the first win. And then there's potentially 4 more games that are 3v3. So we pretty much just started. Tom, thank you. Steve Splinter, what's up? Thank you. Cologne, thank you. Hey, I think both of these town centers are on a hill, so I don't think TC dropping would do much. Though I think there's something weird there where building v building, the hill doesn't matter as much as unit v unit. At least that's the case with towers. It might be different with TCs. Kingston making a run for it. Maybe to get some food out here. There are shorefish on the little muddy river. So it could be for that. It could also be for a lumber camp. Either one would make sense. I think lumber camp makes sense now because he has food elsewhere. And we have a barracks here for Andy. Kingston's going to try and deny this. I mean, if he can actually deny this barracks and stop Andy from doing something in feudal, that would be good for him. But I think Andy's going to complete it. And Andy killed Kingston's scout while still having his own. And this has just been all about Andy here, guys. Really good for his team. And now he can go for an archer range. He could go for a stable. And he's going to go for an archer range. Kingston hasn't clicked up yet. These villagers actually go as far as they can away from the action to build the mill. I think Kingston is doing the best things he can do to come back. He's added a dock and is adding the fish. He's built 2 sneaky mills that freaking Andy might not find. When you're 800 resources down, there's not a lot you can do typically. But he's doing everything he can. We'll see how thorough Andy is with the scout. Yeah, Dogal's like, please don't lose this, Kingston. Did I just win that game against Capwatch for nothing? It's going to be skirm spears to just try and smother Kingston a little bit. But if Kingston doesn't actually need these berries and he can just walk away and go back into this area, it could be nice. We'll probably see him add fish traps with these fishing ships in a moment. Always kind of weird because you're Teutons. You probably want cheap farms. You'll probably see a mix here, but you can farm on the front because the skirms could actually attack the farms, which means they'll be idle. Andy does not know about either mill. What would be a term for the double sneaky mill strat? Should we do it like their team name, where they combined their 3 player names into a team name and made it Slapody? So we do double sneaky mill. What's that turn into? Maybe we do sneaky double mill, and then it's like Snowill. Blacksmith Market for Kingston, but Andy already beat him to it. And Andy has just shifted some villagers onto stone and is on the way to Castle H. S&M? Let's not call it S&M. It might be a triple sneaky mill. Again, I gotta say, Kingston's done a great job. But at the same time, Andy is recognized, okay, I can't do damage against him, so I need to go Castle H, and he still beat him to the next level. And I think he's going to drop a castle in Kingston's face. And I don't know what Kingston is supposed to be able to do against that. I think Kingston's plan is maybe monks and siege right through the middle. If there's a castle here, it might end the game. Well, thank you. Man, lots of people here today. Welcome, guys. Chat's pretty chill, too. Lots of lurkers, maybe. That's cool. All good. Andy is being thorough now, checking, because it's just not adding up. It's not making sense. He's just like, how does he have everything crammed into this little C-shaped wood line? And now he finds it. Can't really do anything about it right now, but it looks like Kingston knows he's been spotted. And those vills are now going to run away. They still did their job. It was very helpful for a time. And there's the castle. You're not stopping that castle unless you build a tower, and he's gonna try it. He is tootin', so I mean he could shoot a lot of arrows. He's gonna try double tower here, guys, but Andy's too wise. He's bringing all of his vills for this because I think he fully recognizes against tootin' towers it could be risky, but if the castle goes up, it ends the game, and the GG's called. This castle would kill villagers. It would take down the towers. It would take down the TC. And then freaking Andy could make Latus. And Andy, pretty much from the start, I think he picked the Civ for the Vil War. He picked Lithuanians for it. He was ahead because of the Vil War. And he did a good job not over-investing in Feudal Age. Because had he done that, Kingston would have maybe beaten the Castle Age and changed the game, turned things around. And so freaking Andy's team, the Slapody team, they get their victory before we move into the 3v3s. So not like, maybe not the most exciting game compared to the game before that. Andy just quite simply did have such a good lead from the start. But it was one where I felt Kingston tried to bail himself out of a bad situation in the best ways that he could. It just wasn't enough when you're next door neighbors to the guy who's ahead of you. So guys, this is the map that may immediately blind you due to brightness. I can only apologize. This map is called Al-Samim. And I don't know what that actually stands for, but it might stand for there is very little on the map. Okay? Now, the first thing you're going to look at is the lack of wood. Reminder, the wood on this map is actually the piles of wood. So there's 2 piles here of 20,000 wood. So in Andy's case, he's never going to lose wood because he has TC'd his wood. Every player, regardless of civ, starts with a mule cart, which can be used for hunt and for mining. And then every player also starts with a camel, which is called Mamadou. Are they all called Mamadou? They're all called Mamadou. It's kind of funny. They were called admin in the previous game. So I don't know. Maybe admin's like it's a common camel name? In the teal, we have Vietnamese, which is a really nice civ for Capwatch's team because he can see now where the enemy TCs are located. I like that pick a lot. Andy is playing as the Slavs towards the center. And then we have Slam playing as the Chinese in the blue. Really strong civs. I really like the civ selection for this team. At least from what I saw from Chinese earlier in the day going scouts, they're quite strong here. But that was a 1v1. In the purple, we have Kingston playing Ethiopians, one of the best archer civs in the game. So that should be insane. And nearby, we have Miguel playing Khmer, one of the best scout rush civs in the game. So that should be insane. And then Dogal, very close by. Again, like this team's a little bit more squished together, which could be good or bad. We have Dogal. The bad thing for Dogal is he is like in the middle of the map. So all signs point to Dogal. He's playing as the Mayans. Wow, so they're really bringing out the big guns here. Ethiopians, Mayans, Chinese, Khmer. Like, those 4 civs, I think, are, like, really top priority in drafts. Slavs maybe a little bit later down the line. And maybe Vietnamese a little bit later down the line. But crazy. And obviously, it's a pretty big deal here, right? Like, I could go as far to say, if Dogal, Miguel, and Kingston lose this game, they may feel like the series is lost. Because they're probably early civ picks, and then they'd be down 2-0. They're going to feel like they need to get this win. Now, I've spoken to a lot of players. They're not really fond of this map. I'm going to give you an example as to why. There's these armies around that will just occasionally attack you. And so when you build your TC, you don't know, really, if you're going to be next to a little army encampment from Gaia. And, yeah, you could see here that that is the case for Kingston. So Kingston's going to have to be careful. You could argue, if you know it's there, that it protects you. But on this map, you can also eat camels. And so these camels can't be eaten because there's an archer there, for example. But you can eat the ibex. So it's an interesting map, to say the least. I don't know if you can convert Gaia units. We did play a map called Gaia Nothing, though, for community games. And in Gaia Nothing, you could not convert Gaia. So, yeah. If you didn't see Gaia Nothing, wait for the video. It was ridiculous. Okay, so Al-Samim is a marshland at the eastern end of the Rubakali Desert, largely within the borders of Oman. Okay, so this is the marsh, I guess. Oh my god, dude. I'm sorry, but I just cannot be convinced that this is good. Like, Kingston has now built a mill to take food, which he very badly needs. And now you have a Gaia archer attacking him, and he can't take his food. And there's just, like, no other real options around for him. Okay, he does have this, but it's just, I just don't like it. I feel bad for Kingston. But the archers don't follow you forever. So they, you know, you could back away. Did he lose a villager to this? He didn't. I think he's had a pretty rough start in general, Kingston. At least compared to the others. Then again, there's Chinese out there, and there's also Mayans. So I think that's probably part of it. Those civilizations also start with the extra vills. Margugu, sarcastically, I believe, in my chat, says, it's not like this map is about having a perfect build order. And I think it really is. Because there's no way to wall, there's no way to play defense, so it's like, it's got to be sarcasm there because it's all about massing that army as quickly as possible. Other maps, you could maybe have like more defensive measures. There's very little defensive options here. John says, I like the idea of maps with Gaia Army, but I think that this isn't very well implemented. I'd be okay if there was a Gaia Army in the corner, right? But I think Gaia Army near where people build TCs is not good. I kind of see both sides. I think that some players are overly critical about new maps because they don't want to learn and they don't want to try new things, right? Straight up. That's just how it is. And this tournament has some great maps, which is incentivized practice, which some teams have taken and run with, and it's been fun to see. I also think that there is such a thing as being too crazy, and that certain things like this should be avoided. That's all. The problem for Kingston here is going to be he's up later than Slam, which might have happened anyways because Chinese are so good. And Slam's going to go for that range now. Remember, they know exactly where the enemy is because of the Vietnamese bonus. And we got scouts from freaking Andy from the pocket. That makes sense. We're going to have Capwatch as well go for archers. So you really, I guess you'd want to compare Kingston's position to Capwatch. Because Capwatch doesn't have, like, the Mayan or Chinese start. And so he's just a little bit behind Capwatch there. But he is down a Vil. I think he'll recognize he's behind. He will probably communicate that. And the early tower makes a lot of sense if you ask me. So. The nice thing for Kingston is he doesn't ever have to leave this area for wood. So actually, with this tower, he's got his wood and his gold locked down. He should always be able to make archers in Feudal Age at least. So yeah, if you didn't TC wood, which some of it's not choice, I think some of that's just based on what you find right away when the game starts. If you didn't TC wood, that could be an area you're actually pushed off of, which could be an issue for Capwatch. So scouts from Miguel heading over towards Dogal. This doesn't surprise me. These two have played team games together for a decade. They should have good synergy. Good communication there. Kingston, a new addition to the squad. Yeah, Kingston kind of on his own then, which means he probably won't advance forward. Slam. He's going to tower his wood because he's TC'd his gold. So yeah, you just got to think about it that way. Protect one or the other if you're going archers. As Slam has not moved out, he's slowly building houses towards his teammate. That's going to be a lot of house walling, but... You know, we haven't seen movement yet from the flanks. Now, I think Capwatch just moved out, and he's also trying to wall. But the enemy encampment is blocking the wall potential. So maybe there'll be a wall towards an outpost. The enemy encampment could also protect you. These are unupgraded units, though, so... And is Capwatch going to notice this? His whole team has not moved out at all yet. And Capwatch doesn't see this. Oh, this is going to be so bad for them. I think they're waiting for it, though. I think they have an idea. Oh, man. You know, here comes Dogal. He's headed in towards the pile of wood. And Capwatch... Oh, is going to get completely caught out. And Dogal's going to kill 1. He's going to kill 2. He'll kill 3. He'll kill 4. It could even kill more than that. And now, probably freaking Andy's got to come support in some way. Another villager dies. And that's the synergy here. Like, Miguel and Dogal played together for 10 years. This Slapody team, they're all great players trying a new team out. I'm really surprised they were so passive. Now, Capwatch tends to be a little bit more passive. Freakin' Andy tends to be a little bit more passive. Slam more the aggressive player on their team, I guess. So maybe it's just a player thing. But that's a beautiful start here for BarbeTacos. Because now there's this army. I mean, they were going for a team wall too. Now this army, they have to chase. And that's going to be a lot of control. Slam's still not moving out. There's a signal from Capwatch. I think he's pointing out that that's where Dogal's gold is. I have to guess what they're saying, obviously. But I think he's probably saying, I'm going there. And there he goes. I have to say, like, Capwatch he still has his scout. And there's been a lot of surprises here. So I feel like maybe he didn't do the best at utilizing that. More army from Dogal meets up with the old army. And then more scouts from Miguel, the same. And now they head towards Andy, who probably said, I can deal with that army alone. But now it's like a massive army that he can't deal with. Slam's going to advance forward. We have Kingston as well joining the party. So there's going to be all 3 players from BarbeTacos leaving their own base to go to the enemy's base. And Andy is going to have big problems here. Oh, so many farms will be idled. He can't take wood. And Capwatch shows up here. It almost seems like Dogal and Miguel expected this. The tower was there. Miguel's has a tower as well. They're prepared. And there goes Kingston as well. Here comes Slam. He too runs into a tower. And now he's running into the units! Which he is killing. But I guess, yeah, maybe this kind of helps you if you wall towards it. Slam killed it off, no problem. Such patience from Miguel and Dogal. It's amazing. Like, they get a good position, they get a couple kills, and they just move to the next guy. And then everyone is affected by this. And they're still defending perfectly as well. This is just so good. And by the way, Slam's going to have some issues too. He's going to be hit. He's now looping around this way, though, to hit Miguel, who's going to potentially have some problems. But the problems are much greater for Kapotch and much greater for Andy right now. This is not a good fight for Andy. No Bloodlines yet. And Bloodlines and armor and everything is already in for Miguel. Kapotch is losing everything. He's borderline dead. So Kapotch and Slam need to use this army and find critical hit kills here. They have to. Obviously, Miguel and Dogal will know they kill this. They might win this game before Castle Age even comes in. It's just being pushed off of resources. Losing the Vills constantly. That's been the problem here. Finally, Bloodlines for Andy, who's got no wood access. So he's not going to be seeding new farms. Lots of archers from Slam. Lots of archers from Kapotch still. All 3 players for BarbeTacos coming back to deal with this. Slam's been having some issues over here. I wasn't able to go back and show you. I'm sorry. But he is on the way to Castle Age. I mean, Slam could be the key. If they get Slam on crossbow could kill 2 players. He's got healthy numbers, at least for now. And now patience from Kapotch and Slam to run away. The Gaia army's here. There's also scouts. And Kingston's going to dive in to take care of this. And he is Ethiopian, so he has the faster firing speed. And he's got support from his teammates, and they will clear up Slam. They will clear up Slam. But what has not happened on the other side is Kapotch and Andy haven't been able to deal with Dogal and Miguel. It's a lot of scouts from Andy, but that's a lot of archers from Dogal, and he's still getting such good value. Look at Miguel as well, pulling those scouts away. With that 1 weak scout there. Slam also got hit. Slam now only at 10 archers. Andy can't help him at all. Right? Andy needs to stabilize himself. Take a look at the top right and how many archers Dogal has. Remember, he's got this army, but then he also has all that army that just went back to help out Miguel. He has 35 archers. He has more military than the entire other team combined. Crazy stuff. And he's going to click up to Castle Age soon. So if Slapody have any chance here, they need it to be now. They need to find some damage. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. If anything, Miguel's finding more damage against Andy. Miguel's here to support. Kingston's on the way to Castle Age 2. Slam has to advance forward. I think trying to save Andy is a waste of time. If this were real life, you know, you invest your time and resources into your pals. You know, you try and keep them alive. But in this game, you let them die, and you go kill the others. That's what Slam's going to do. Ballistics on the way. 3 ranges. Eco's still reasonable. Miguel hasn't clicked up on the other side yet, but he's close. And Andy's just had a miserable time. It all just goes back to that early play from the 2 Brazilians. They got in on Kapotch. That extended right over to Andy. And the rest is history. And they make it look so easy. I'm amazed, actually, that Andy's on the way up. That Kapotch is on the way up. So they will reach Castle Age. Most important player in the game. Right here. Slam in the blue. 22 crossbows with ballistics. Miguel's going to be under pressure here. Miguel hitting Slam, though, with his scouts at home. And these are not losses that Slam can afford to take. He's pretty much the team right now. And it just felt like the military is gonna add up and hit them somewhere. Now Dogal is over here on Andy again. He's got 33 crossbows. Or archers that will soon be crossbows. And I think the damage that's being done is more than enough to force a tap out here. Slam's losing more vills. But then Dogal's going to have crossbows in the back of Andy's base. In the back of Kapotch's base. They can't do anything about that. And whatever we see over here from Slam is just going to be tracked by Kingston. Great teamwork from BarbeTacos. That's amazing. I love how Kingston came here instead of moving forward against Slam. Because if he moved forward against Slam, I'm sure he'd do damage. But, like, maybe Miguel dies, and then maybe this gets out of hand for him. That's really interesting. I kind of expected him to go forward. And yeah, the micro is good enough. Slam will lose his expos. Army count's actually way closer, but I guess the eco count isn't now. And they're still going to try and clamp down on this army. Capwatch 43 Vils, which is better than I would have expected. It's only 46 for Dogal. He does have 24 crossbows, which is the same amount as Dogal as well. Impressive. I guess Miguel's in a better spot than Andy, though. Miguel's now in Castle Age getting light cav for 15 scouts. There's not a very big army for Andy. Slam down to 32 Vils. Whereas Kingston up to 50 villagers and has 4 ranges producing crossbows right now. And he's Ethiopian, so it feels like it's only going to get worse. Also, between Capwatch and Dogal, Dogal's got the better eco setup, and he's got 4 ranges producing expos. So, yeah, it's not looking good for Slapody here as they continue to fight on. Really loved the confidence to just move out and take advantage of an open map, right? That's exactly what BarbeTacos went for in early feudal to get to this position. I don't think Slapody's had a bad game, but the start, they've been trying to recover from the start ever since. Now, Slam's getting hit by Kingston. Slam is off of gold soon. The rest of his gold is underneath his TC. And I think Slam's probably like, yeah, guys, I'm dead. There's more crossbows from Kingston coming in. Slam doesn't have the res. They were never going to push here, and the GG's called. So, man, I mean, 1-1. The positive for Slapody here is I do think BarbeTacos drafted heavily for this. I think they had some of their best civilizations on their draft first for this map. Imagine, though. Like, imagine if the 1v1s went a little bit differently. We might be looking at a 2-0 for BarbeTacos, so a good job from Andy, I guess, and Slam to get their 1v1 victories to start off the series. Slapody will get to choose the next map. I'd be shocked if it's a standard land map. I think it's going to be a map with water or a map with walls at least, because that's where I'd say Kingston, Dogal, and Miguel struggle a little bit more. And I don't know, like, Capwatch isn't necessarily known as a great player on the wallable maps, but Andy is, and Slam is, and I think Capwatch is just a player who, if he doesn't take damage early, he's normally up there as one of the best. And that was the issue here. So, well, I guess we'll find out here in a second. So, YouTube will hate me, but as I just told everyone here on Twitch, I really have to use the restroom. So, we got game number 3. It's a really important game, and naturally, I have to step away. Okay, I will be right back. The map is Curacao. You can see the teams. I'm going to zoom out. We're going to follow freaking Andy Scout, and my Twitch chat will cast BRB. Man, you guys, this commentary is just bad. Did I gain viewers when I went away? What is that? That's the worst possible thing that could have happened. Okay, I'm back. Scores 1-1. We got freaking Andy on the flank playing as the Armenians. There's a lot of water on this map. One person in my chat did say this map is called Giant Peanut. So I think we're going to call it that now. The Giant Peanut map. Freaking Andy is probably going to play a lot through water here because Armenians are so solid there. Pocket, but also very back of the Peanut. The end of the Peanut is Capwatch. He is very far away from any potential pressure, both on land and on water. So I expect a big economic play from him. Apparently, I missed in-game chat. Andy dropped a heart, and Dogal dropped... What is that? That's a new one for me. There's actually a little bit of history between Andy and Dogal. So they might have been chatting in the lobby. I will bring that up, actually. Is that a middle finger? Okay. I'll get to the history in a second. The flank here in the blue, we've got Slam playing as the Italians. In the purple, we have Kingston playing as the Koreans. Pocket, very back position, we've got Miguel playing as the Huns. And then we have Dogal playing Japanese. So I'd expect the flanks to play water. And if the flank wins water, they could sneak ships down to kill the pockets fish. I think the pocket player has two choices. I think they can go fast castle and help on water, or they could maybe go for scouts in feudal or knights in castle. One or the other. Yes, I washed my hands. Calm down. Okay, calm down. Okay, so I'm going to tell the story about Andy and Dogal. So first off, you need to know this about Dogal. You know, he's been around a really long time. Like a long time, right? And I don't know about you guys, but like for me, when I entered my 30s especially, I was just like, I don't have time for your stupid petty drama. Like whatever it may be, I just like, I'm done with it. You know, like, come on. I don't want to waste energy on that crap, whatever it is. And so anyways, Dogal, been around a long time, tends to be sarcastic, make jokes and whatnot. So he's in a 1v1 against freaking Andy, okay? And freaking Andy always picks orange for his color. Always. And orange is very hard to see. So usually, there was a player in the past backed. He would pick orange for his color in a 1v1 because it's hard for people to see. And then in-game, he would change his color to team colors, meaning he would be blue and his opponent would be red. It was just like a funny thing. Well, Andy actually picks orange and plays with orange. If you ever watch like a stream or something, he actually likes the color. So anyways, they're going to play a tournament. Andy selects orange in the lobby. And Dogal selects gray because gray is also hard to see. And he knows that Andy likes to play with the color orange. And Andy says, can you not pick gray because I actually play with orange. I'm not like trying to trick you with team colors. And Dogal is like, I can pick whatever color I want. and Andy got a little butthurt about it. And in the scheduling room, and I think asked an admin about something. And Dogal said, go cry to your mama about it and host the lobby. So I don't know, like, when I look at that little, apparently a middle finger there, they must have said something in this lobby, and then Andy dropped a heart, and then Dogal's response is I don't know, it's just a bit funnier if you ask me. Anyways, we had some fighting over here. Kingston wasn't able to get the best of Slam. Slam's going to be going galleys, and it is also going to be galleys then for Kingston, and then it's going to be galleys down here for Dogal, and it's going to be galleys down here for Andy, who is really late, actually, unless I've missed something. I don't think he got any galleys around the back to hit Miguel. Now, look at the strategy here for this team. They're actually going full stone walls through the middle. And this is going to keep, I guess, Capoch protected. Capoch is going to produce scouts, and he can actually run them through the gate. So the wall is... I really like the wall because it allows you to still pressure your opponent, at least if you get it down. But they can't pressure you with the scouts. The stone wall is a really smart strategy. I'd say that Slam and Andy seem to be struggling with their water control, though. So the wall is great, but you're investing villager time into walling, and your focus is not as clear on how you play the game. And it's kind of been a problem on both sides here. So I think maybe what you do here against the walls, if you're Miguel... He did get through with 2 scouts, but I think what you do is you still make scouts just so you can match whatever comes through that gate, and you can have defense for it. But a really rough start here for Slam, like really bad start here for Slam, and not so good for Andy either, in all honesty. And oh, this is exactly what you can't have. This is exactly what you can't have. If you lose water on the flank, Capoch gets hit, and Capoch was not making Navy. He's not prepared to make Navy, and of course, Miguel behind all this does not have this problem on the other side. So, man, the dolphins keep squeaking. I'm sorry if that bothers you guys as much as it bothers me. I have nothing against dolphins, but, you know, it's just... As I'm trying to focus on saying very important things, just hear those freaking dolphins. Capoch not loving life right now, and basically, you know, it just hasn't gone according to plan. I think the plan... is a good plan, but when you wall that early, you take away from your builds and you're focused on the flanks. It's one thing for one side to fall behind, but for the other side to fall behind as well is twice as rough. Very clear, distinct situation right now for the BarbeTacos team, but they're not necessarily ahead. They're not necessarily ahead. There's only 3 fishing ships for Miguel, so it's not like Miguel is fish booming behind this. Capwatch should have a really smooth eco still, and arguably a better eco than Miguel. Now here, we see walls from Kingston, and those walls are going to get denied because Capwatch is able to walk through with the scouts. What Kingston tried to do was wall here, and he's got to go for this really awkward wall now. And Miguel doesn't have all of his scouts here. Might have paid attention to this. The Komodos don't attack you, by the way. In a normal game, they would, but on this map, they're supposed to resemble iguanas, which are apparently very plentiful on this island in real life. I love the scout micro there from Miguel. That was sick. So they might get the walls down now. And then seems like Dogao is completely losing water. What? Wow. What happened? Dogao had the lead and then just got completely mopped up. And yeah, I think this is going to turn around and be pretty good. I mean, you do have Miguel on the way to Castle Age right now, but you do also have Kingston doing pretty good on water. A lot of it could have been the distractions, maybe. What I don't really get is what happened with Dogao, because Dogao had the lead and also wasn't hit by any scouts. Sure, he had to stonewall, and maybe he was focused on that. I want to see his KD real quick. Yeah, I guess it's pretty even. I don't know, guys. He may have also been focused on killing some of the fish back there. That could have been it. Armenians are also really good with their galleys. So I think, you know, Armenians typically win the galley war against other civs if it's just galleys. Dogao did snipe one more fishing ship in there. That's good. That's been good value. Man, these walls. What are we doing, dude? Is this still not walled? Oh, Kingston. What in the world? Oh, man. I mean, that's just brutal. That's so bad. And now Slam's going to sneak a Vil. I assumed this was plugged. He placed enough stone walls to have this walled 3 times. But, you know, I think I just got to bring it back to, like, once your walls are down, life is so much easier, right? And it is harder to get the walls down once the opponent has the gate set up on both sides. So, it got a little awkward for Slapody. But their strategies worked out. Their economy is way better overall. Slam will be up way faster than Kingston on water, so I'd expect him to still be in a good position there. There will be 0 fishing ships or potential for fishing for Miguel. Dogao, I don't even know his plan. I think he just maybe drops TCs, but he kind of looks dead on water. And Kingston just lost Vils and is still losing Vils. This is bad, guys. This is bad. BarbeTacos have just completely fallen apart. After what was a pretty good start, I just don't really fully understand it. Slam's villager did die, I guess, after building the house. But yeah, not looking good. Now Miguel makes knights, but they can't get through because they don't have any control. Andy should have a pretty breezy boom on the back of this. I'd probably take it into the late game. And Capwatch should honestly do the same. Now that the walls are actually completed. What you can do, though, if you win water, you can just take out a piece of wall with your ships. And still, like, break through anyways. I think that could eventually happen. Slam doesn't have as many galley numbers as Kingston, but Slam will be in Castle Age faster, so I think he should be able to shift back onto water. Just BarbeTacos just fell apart here. Oh, man. And now they know that units could be transported around or that the walls could be taken out. So you could tell Dogao was thinking about, like, this crazy wall behind, and then he just deleted it. But yeah, they're worried that units can still get into their base. And wait, what? Oh, a transport from Kingston. Oh, shoot. He snuck the knights over. Remember, he doesn't have the water control here right now. So he's got to try. Oh. Ah! Run! Be fast. Open the sails. Knights are going to get through. And knights get across. Wow, okay. Well, I mean, this is not something I expected. And that's good work from them to try and do something here to get around those walls. Still worry, though. It seems to me like they knew about this. And Kapotch can always produce enough knights to match this and deal with this. They won't be able to come across again. And the players with water control can add fish. Freaking Andy's at 12 fishing ships. It's going to be... Slam probably will have the least for his team. Because he hasn't taken out the docks yet. But still, could happen soon. Freaking Andy's going to snag relics as well. And I think he's ready to convert the knights here if need be to help out. So, let's talk positives here for the BarbeTacos team. All right. Positive. They're going to have a lot of town centers. 4 TCs here for Miguel. It's a bit faster than Kapotch, for example. 4 TCs for Dogal. It's faster than Andy. Also, you know, Kingston, there's not a lot of positives here, but he is the tacos portion of the team. So, you know, that's fun. Looks like you can wall up these little choke points between the rocks, and then transported units can't actually get through. Oh. Yeah, but like, you know, obviously negative. They're behind in economy. They're behind in army. And I think this is like forward castle imp territory for Andy. And then he just, you know, they break down the walls and then a whole bunch of army floods in. I actually don't hate the fact that Kapotch is producing so many knights. They're going to try and transport them around. But like, imagine even just a castle drop here and a ram. You break through the gate. That gate's actually being held open right now. Watch him convert the scout and leave the scout there, holding the enemy gate open, and then they can run through. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. That gate is open right now. Come on, Andy. You would actually have to convert both. Night transport should be happening. Fill her up! We only got enough for 5 in this bad boy. So get here fast. Transport can't move. Thanks, DE. Oh, he kicked out the scout. Okay, kicked out the scout. Scout's not good enough to ride this ride. Here come the knights, but I think Dogal just got the walls down. It's really smart, actually. Didn't realize that was possible. Andy, can you please convert that scout? Ah, Miguel backed away. Okay. Miguel would have probably noticed it, but... Here come the knights. Dogal, do not chop that tree. He's about to chop it open somehow. Yep, it's open. Oh, wait, no, there's bushes there. Never mind. It looked like there was a hole. And now Kapotch is probably regretting making so many knights. So maybe it wasn't the best of plays. How long is the delay versus the real game? This game happened in 2003. So about 21 years and a couple weeks. This is an old game, so. But you know, it's close to live. 21 years. Knights from Kapotch still can't break through. Waiting for maybe a castle drop or rams to try and break through. The real difference maker here is going to be the imp times between Andy and Dogal. And Andy had such a nice little lead because of the fishing ships, which he's been taking advantage of out here. The Dolphins aren't happy about this. Dogal's not going to be happy about this. Castle will go up for Andy, and then he'll have a hill, and he'll be trebbing down that castle. That's a big problem. And now Kapotch He tried to get into Slam's transport, and this was also walled. So, cue the let me in meme. He's going to try again, I guess. Or is there a hole here? Oh, I think there's a gap there, right? Is there not? Ah, they found an opening. No! No! Yikes. Well, I mean, oh, there's even walls back here. They've walled everything. That's so crazy, man. But there was a hole here, and that's all that matters. And that villager's going to drop a house. That's really cool aspect of the map. How you can wall that up. Because, like, you might think it discourages aggression, but it actually is really tough to pay attention to that. And so it's a nice little, like, map knowledge, skill element aspect to incentivize transports and extra walling. I think they don't need to play that crazy game anymore, though. I think they just push right through the middle. They go right through Dogal's base. You take out Dogal's castle, you take down Dogal's gate, and then you just funnel all your army in here. Or you go this way. Oh, crap. Kingston's in trouble. Kingston's in big trouble. Oh, they broke through the wall. Slam is here, too. Slam's going to drop a castle. Wow, so it's problematic on both sides here, guys. Slapody are in such a good spot. Kingston has had a rough game. I guess he just thought he was fully walled earlier when he wasn't. But honestly, you know, Dogal kind of fell off a little bit at a random point. It was just a little confusing that things fell apart for them. Now, this hole isn't on Kingston. Slam's castle took that down, so that's not his fault. At this point, I didn't know what to suggest when everything happened earlier. They tried their best, but the pain was going to come one way or another. And Dogal, the only thing keeping him alive right now is that wall. But I don't think that's going to last too long. Night Flood coming from Capuch. He's an imp. He should have imp upgrades coming in. Slam's going to have Genoese crossbow with the Italians. I mean, Slam is in such a good position. That's such a good unit here, too, against what they're up against. Mainly Cav archers and Cav. Andy is not going to let you win this Treb war. Neither Civ, Armenians, and Japanese get bombard cannon. Japanese have the better trebuchets, but that's after upgrades, and that's after numbers. And for the upgrades and for the numbers of trebs, you need castles. And the castle will fall. But the knights are here. And Andy says, I see your knights, and I raise you one villager building a gate with 3 monks behind. Black Forest experience again from freaking Andy, and the gate goes down. But it's still really nice. The castle fire helps out a lot against some of the Cav. He did stake out the castle. He can lose these trebs, but he's still probably going to be okay. You'd expect Capuch to be in here with support. If Miguel is there, Miguel is not here, so Kingston's completely dead. And most of the Cavalier just die to the castles that have a lot of upgrades, too. And Capuch will send over enough units, I'm sure. He's got a great eco. He should be able to help deal with this. And now the pain that's taken Kingston almost off the map is going to extend right over towards Miguel. I doubt Kingston even makes it to imp at this point. He's apparently imping. Okay, and that TC, he will probably make it. That was the safest TC, but the others are going to go down. Savar on the way now for Capuch. Far superior to Cavalier, but we do have Paladin for Miguel. I mean, Miguel's had a great game. But both the flanks, both Slam and Andy, have outplayed the other flanks. Whereas Capuch and Miguel have pretty much been on par. Losing on water and on land on the flanks just really hurt them this game. It makes sense that the pockets, which are relatively untouched, would be in similar positions. Nice raids from Miguel. Again, Miguel's like finding kills that I wouldn't have expected. But Capuch does have this army to look at. There is a window, maybe, here for Miguel. Like, he's going to have a lot of paladins. But he'll be engaging against Genoese crossbow. Though they're not elite yet. There's also an issue of what unit do you make as the Armenians. Andy maybe not really sure on what to make, so he might send resources to his teammates. Paladin's going to come in. Paladin is in as the units retreat. Genoese crazy bonus damage against Paladin. And the raids that were in Capwatch's base got cleared up. We've got trade running from Andy right now, too. I think Andy's about to just send resources to Capwatch. Slam doesn't really need the res, but Capwatch could use a whole lot of resources. Does Slam get some food so we can get Elite Genoese? Miguel now sending food to Kingston, but where's Kingston supposed to go? Can you send him space? You can't send him space. There's no space remaining, and the GG's called. Slapody gets the job done. A great response. I mean, again, the overall strategy was really interesting. It was naturally going to be some fights on the water on the flanks. Both teams did that. But the immediate stonewalling in Feudal Age paid off. And again, it looked awkward for them on the water, but they brought it back. I think Capwatch's scouts being able to run through and Miguel's scouts not being able to run through is kind of the difference there. And I think those scouts are part of the reason why the attention and focus for Kingston and Dogout on the flanks fell apart. I think what made it seem like Andy was behind on water was maybe just the fact he didn't have as many galleys in hindsight. Because Dogout didn't get many kills. I think what happened was Andy lost his first 2 galleys, and then he kept all the rest garrisoned in the docks. And Dogout probably thought that he was ahead. Now, he did kill some fish from Capwatch, which, of course, was something that was not so good for Capwatch. But all of a sudden, Andy pops out. Wham, bam, has 15 galleys, and then Dogout wasn't ready. Dogout loses everything. And Kingston just had a rough game, too, honestly. Kingston's, wall situation was just, it was just brutal. But that needed to be better there. But just not a map that really suits the BarbeTacos skill set. They prefer the more open maps. I'm sure they're going to have one available for their home map next. There's a look at the res collected. Andy with a crazy game. He didn't kill that much, but his eco was fantastic, and he shared res. Would have probably sent a bunch of res to his teammates. And then probably played into if he's going to make units here, it actually felt like he was going to go for just monks, trebs. But maybe could go into champions at some point with the Armenians. Here we are, game 4. So this map, according to someone in my Twitch chat, who I believe, and I have done 0 fact checking, is based on an area in Brazil, apparently. And so the 2 Brazilians will be very happy about that. They understand their homelands well. We got Kingston, the Mexican, here in the red. But he's teamed up again with Miguel and Dogal. Big thing here is it's a nomad start with your normal TC. But you have a little hut thing, which is another town center you can produce villagers out of. So it's a 2 TC start, essentially. And Kingston's Tatars, he is going to TC down here towards the south. And another thing about the map is everyone starts with 2 fishing ships, but no docks. So usually every player sends 1 vill to dock. And there's also lots of boars in the north. Is the north Brazil? Or is this all Brazil? I don't know. But Dogal wants the meat. And the boars won't move off the freaking TC Foundation. He's getting trolled. Oh my god, what? Oh, you could tell he was spam clicking that thing. He was pissed at those boars. Well, boars, you're going to get eaten for that. So, you screwed up. So Slam comes to the north as well. Slam's been galleys. Usually in the north, we've been seeing a lot of castle dropping. Berbers and Bengalis both have a ranged unique unit, so that could work. For most games, I've also seen one player go water focus. I would imagine based on the civs and based on the player skills, that Capwatch would be the water player here. So I think Capwatch will eventually make a second and maybe a third dock even. Slam's trying to figure out his dock position right now. He's docked pretty far away. Slam, build your dock, bro. He's probably bringing in a boar right now. And he needs to place his dock. You can't walk out there, or can you? Okay, you can. Well, that's the prettiest dock out here. But it took some time. Now, will there be a natural water player for the other team? Tatars, Franks, and Berbers. A lot of Cav civs. They actually don't have a single Arbalest civilization on their team. So they don't really have a natural archer player. They also don't really have a natural scout player. Or not, I'm stupid. They have 3 natural scout players. I meant to say water player, sorry. So, we'll see. I mean, the previous series, we did see one team just give up water and go heavy archers and heavy scouts. But I think if you just give up water, your 3 teammates take immediate losses. The other 3 teams, players on the other team, have an immediate benefit to all the fish they add. So I personally would say you always have to have a player fighting on water. Always. But maybe they don't have the civs for that. Apparently, this map is northern Brazil, which is very far from where Dogal and Miguel live. Oh, so it's not a home map for the Brazilians after all? Yikes. Disaster. Yeah, get every boar you can. Mongols are banned in the draft, for those wondering why there's no Mongols. I think neither team wanted Mongols as an option here. But yeah, Mongols would be an... Wait, no, I'm thinking about the previous series, yeah. I actually didn't even see the draft, but I can guarantee you that they were banned because why wouldn't we have Mongols here? Unless there's another map where they're saving Mongols. Maybe I'm just assuming. I always like it when people do this. So, like, Capwatch won't have army on land. So he's just going to take gold in a safe space next to freaking Andy. I think that's a smart move. And Capwatch walking the Ville down here will make a second dock. We have very forward archers from Kingston. So Kingston's going to go archers. This is what Ozone did in the previous game. We've seen multiple teams try it. I mean, it's definitely going to be a better eco situation for Slapody as things stand. We have stone income for Dogal, as he's probably going fast castle in the north. And he actually shot quite a few boars over here compared to Slam. Slam's got plenty of boars left, but it seems like Dogal could live on boars for weeks. So, I think the theme is the castle always tends to go on someone's face. If that's the case, as Slam is going to try and stop Dogal from getting these boars, you might want to have some forward walls down so the castle can't go up on your TC. Really nice work from Dogal. Weakening each boar with the TC. Hasn't lost a villager yet, unless I've missed it. Can actually click the boar carcasses, and it keeps track of the kills. So do they know about these archers right now? They do not. But what they did just see was the barracks. And someone signaled that and was like, yo, he's going to make army. And Kingston sees the stone. He sees the gold. He sees the wood. But where do you attack? He doesn't know the stone's being taken, actually. He might know that Slam needs that stone, though, because Slam will probably go for a castle there. He might try and deny the market. He might try to do a bunch of things. Remember, Slam can also produce out of this town center. Here come the archers. Slam's going to react to this, but this is still not going to be an easy time for him. Let's see if he can save himself. I think Slam needs an immediate tower on his gold, and he's trying to quick wall, and disaster for Slam. Remember, he has the fish. His team has the fish, but the archers are going to hit 2 players. Slam takes villager losses, and now Capwatch is going to lose out on gold. But here's where my brain is at. Capwatch doesn't need gold to win water now. They've already won water. So he can just needs wood to add fish, and he's still fine. Slam is up to castle age. Now, this slows down him dropping a castle, but he still has stone here. And he's still up to castle age at a really decent time. He also still has fish. So I don't actually think this is that bad for the Slapody team. Could it be better? Well, sure, but this is war. You don't, things don't go according to plan. This is actually not good though for Capwatch. Capwatch had more villagers over here, and Miguel has some scouts out now. Miguel's gonna help out and find them. Didn't kill them all. Oh god, but the villagers just got sent right back out. Freaking Andy! I think he's in control of that. That's his TC. And he sent his own vills out, but included in that, sent Kapotch's vills right back out to their deaths. Hard to coordinate here, and hard to control this gold. Everybody wants a piece of this gold. Slam wants some of the gold. Andy wants some of the gold. Oh my goodness, this is so much pressure. And did they really have no one go scouts? I guess Andy's going scouts, but it just took Andy a lot of time to have army. So, no, again, the fishing ships are there for one team, but guess what? Every player is taking damage. Kapotch took damage. Andy took damage. And Slam has taken damage. Man, how important were the forward walls from Dogal? We've seen so many instances where it's castle v castle, but the one castle takes out a town center. And those walls save the TC and give Dogal a little bit more time. And Dogal's going to be in Castle Age dropping his own castle. Eco KD's got to be pretty crazy now, right? Like, there it is at the bottom right. But Kapotch has 15 fishing ships. So that doesn't keep track of the potential to add the fish. So I think Kapotch would take it. If you said, hey, you're going to lose 5 vills, but you're going to be at 17 fish, he says, sign me up for that, please. And look at that fishing eco fly. Where I'm worried for Kapotch is, I think right now his team would want him to have army on the field. And he is not really in a position to do that. He doesn't have gold access, so he can't. And this TC is going to be denied. And oh, man! So you're going to have the fish, but that's all you're going to have. Kapotch has access to wood. That's it. And he actually deletes his own barracks so he can run over here to complete this TC. I don't know. It's not great. Anyone know who wins the battle between Camel Archers and Ratha? I think I'm going with Camel Archers. But Ratha are probably pretty decent still because they have so much HP. 105 HP. What a fun game. Another castle for Dogal too. Dogal's had a crazy series. Really good game. He's getting boars. He still hasn't lost a villager to any of these boars. 2 TCs. Camel Archers out. Every other time I see someone go for the castle approach, their economies suffer. But his economies has looked really good. I love this from them. They continue to give Kapotch some hope that he can complete this TC, and they just come right back to it. And say, nope, just kidding. Jebaited. I like the TC down here from Slam, and let's give him some credit, because he took damage. And his eco isn't horrible. He still has some fish as well, which has, of course, helped. Oh, man, Andy's now here as well. And Andy's scouts are going to engage against the archers, but they're Tatar archers on hills. The scouts get completely mopped up here. There's no bloodlines on the scouts. That's a really bad fight for Andy. You could tell the pressure is really getting to Slapody right now. And BarbeTacos feel like they're in full control. They feel comfortable here. Even though, like, Kingston is way behind economically. Kingston's at 42 eco. Camel Archers for Dogal are in pretty healthy number. And still hasn't built a farm in this game, from what I can see. Which is pretty crazy, right? We got Knights now from Miguel. So it'll be Knights from Franks. It'll be Camel Archers from the Berber player. I could easily see Kingston going for Cav Archers. It'd be ideal for the Tatars. Kingston's economy is just rough right now. Meanwhile, Kapotch is going up to 30 fishing ships. I mean, at a certain point, you run out of the food here. There's still thousands for now. And then you need to add fish traps. I think Andy's had a tough time. Like, Andy's had a tough time. Slam has had a tough time. But, I mean, that's not to imply Kapotch has necessarily had an easy time. It's been high pressure on all of them. So, I'm beginning to understand now a little bit more of why people feel they can give up the water. Because if you go for this much army on land, you can easily see why you think, who cares about the water? This is crazy pressure. And freaking Andy is soon not going to be able to take any gold. And if Andy can't make military, this is trouble. This is not going to get any better for Slam. This is not going to get any better for Capwatch if that's the case. What a great job from BarbeTacos. It's just consistent army stream, consistent production. They're always looking for fights, and this is how they play. And this is how Andy plays, dropping monasteries now. He seems he doesn't know what to do. We might see a GG call here, guys. This is only getting worse. Couple crossbows sneak in here from Kingston. Of course, he's microing it like a nerd, because why wouldn't he? Ratha here from Slam. I said before this game, I felt like we'd get a 5th game just because of these teams. It's like a perfect mix of styles. What I don't know is what the 5th map would be. And that really dictates a lot of how you feel how this series is going to go. Is it closed? Is it open? Is it hybrid? If it's a map where BarbeTacos can play with 3 players with lots of land army, I'd say advantage to them. If it's more of a boomy map, advantage to Slapody. Remember, that's if we get there. I do have to continually restate that. That's if we get to that point. Is close in score, but it just doesn't feel like the position is as good as the score suggests. Yes, there's tons of fishing ships, but isn't there too much clutter out here? And isn't there too little control of other areas of the map? Slam's going to get raided by Miguel back here. And while this castle might go up here for Capwatch, what about Andy? Andy has nothing to contribute anymore. Camel Archers could maybe get trapped in here. The combo of Ratha and Skirmisher could be good. There's not many Knights from Miguel anymore. Doesn't look like Ballistics is completed yet for Capwatch, so the Camel Archers could actually get away from here. I think we might see a forward castle. If they forward castle Andy, it would be brutal for him. I think Dogal's clearly doing something right now, and that something is not controlling his Camel Archers. And that's a good fight for BarbeTacos. Sorry, for Slapody. Sorry, I'm getting used to their team names. I was wondering if we were ever going to see Rams. So Dogal's going to go for Rams. I don't love that he's going in with just 1 Ram. I would have preferred he wait for 3. But it makes Slam work. And if Slam loses this castle, he's in big trouble. So I love this castle from Dogal. Yeah, you can't show up with 1 Ram because Slam will attack it with Vils or Ratha melee mode. It's the same thing. Like when I say don't trickle Treb. Don't trickle Ram. Okay? You could maybe trickle Mangonel. It depends on the situation. I'd say that right now, Capwatch is the hope for his team. He's got a mix of crossbows and skirms. And if he hits Imp at a solid time, which he could do with the melee, they could maybe push this back. Slam's still going to stay in this. See, this also gives Slam time to add a Mangonel, and now he knows the other Rams are coming. Like, it's crazy how a little bit of patience can change such a situation here. It's also crazy what a forward castle can do. They cannot push past this castle now. Slapody. Slam is up to Imp. Dogal's about to be. And then Slam can make Trebs. We'll see how good the Ratha look long term. Miguel's on the way to Imp. Dogal's on the way to Imp. Kingston's really far from it. But at least they can be okay with Kingston being low on eco because they did so much damage to Andy. A couple Cav Archers over here. We got Knights here as well. Wow, okay, so this is interesting. The Knights from Miguel are going to dive on Slam. They want to take out Slam's castle. So we'll see if he lingers here. That castle will kill Knights. It might be worth it to take the castle out. But then again, if you throw your army, because you get trapped in here by all this army from Slapody, things could fall apart. Slam's still holding on to that castle. And the castle is going to stay up here. Amazing job from Slam. Also, another thing is Dogal's castle is attacking the enemy castle. It's not attacking the Vils at all. So that, I think he's not realizing that that's the case, but that's what, the 4th or 5th Ram that's gone down now? Slam has made this defense look really easy, though. But he could just switch his Ratha to melee mode and attack the Rams too. So he's kind of got that option. Is this winnable now? Capwatch is stabilized. He's been back on stone and gold for a long time. He's starting to add fish traps. There's 20,000 food on those 9 fish traps. Imagine if he gets all these fishing ships on fish traps. He'll be an imp soon. Hasn't clicked up yet, actually. This is actually not great for Capwatch. Oh! I think he's also looking at this army. There's a lot he's probably hearing in the voice chat. He really needs to stall Vil production and probably click up. Miguel will be in imp, and he will get plenty of Cavalier upgrades. So it's actually only Slam in imp for his team. Like, maybe... But, like, can Slam push Dogal and Miguel? Miguel has had a free boom this game, and... Oh, Capwatch is going to lose his whole army. He's ventured too far. Miguel was waiting for him. Been a free boom for Miguel with the Franks. And knowing Miguel, the second Cavalier completes, he will also click Paladin. He also has the Chivalry tech. So his stables produce faster, and that also affects the stable researches. So watch this. Crazy, right? Watch. Cavalier completes. Boom, Paladin. Dude, that's so sick. That is so sick. That tells you how good his position is right now. Because sometimes you're like, well, I need more numbers first. But he's in a good enough position where he can just go for that. Andy's still Castle. Capwatch has now made it to Imp. And I'm sure Dogal is asking for some help right now. And here comes Miguel to support. Makes sense. I mean, Kingston has done an amazing job to 1v2 at times and just keep pressure on Capwatch and Andy. So now Miguel can kind of spread out to both sides, help both teammates. The castle goes down for Slam. This is all before Paladin's actually in, and Miguel is supporting both sides now. And Camel Archers need those castles to stay up. And that'd be the same for the Ratha here. Slam is stuck on Ratha, and Dogal is committed to Camel Archers. He actually has Elite now. It is not Elite for Slam. Slam's also missing Chemistry. I think Elite Camel Archer is such a big jump in attack as well. And then there's Paladins in front. This is so problematic for Slam. He can't do it alone now. They're tanky, but he can't do it alone. Look at Miguel. Look at Dogal. They've got the Camel Archers in the back, too. The Paladins in the back. You have Kingston still looking to pressure on the front. Slam's going to lose everything here, and I think the GG will be called. Has to be now. There's no way back. I think, like, Capwatch is finally at 200 pop. But to get there, he wasn't really able to support the other two. And so, you know, it's funny how it works out, right? Like, if this series was the first of the day, I would have completely changed my strong wording on my opinions from the first series, where we had one team skip over water, right? Because the team who skipped over water in that game, they didn't do enough damage with their land aggression. It didn't look good. And then the fish boom won the game. Here, though, it was like the fish boom was all that Slapody had to be excited about. I think Dogal outplayed Slam a little bit in the north. And then I think Miguel and Kingston did a really nice job with their army presence. The thing that I'm a little confused on was really Andy, right? Like, what did Andy do in this game? Well, he opened up with scouts. So did Miguel. But Miguel didn't have the fish. Andy had the fish. So what I don't get is how, like, in theory, I think Andy should have more scouts than Miguel, or at least a solid enough position. But I guess maybe he got hit early enough. Maybe he was trying to go fast castle. A lot happened in this game. Let's see, just a technology. Castle times the second one. That's not a fast castle. I just would have expected Andy to have a little bit more, because your middle player would have a boost compared to Miguel. But I think clearly things didn't go according to plan. Didn't go according to plan for anybody on Slapody. And the score is 2-2. So this is one of my favorite maps in the tournament, and this is the map to close out this series. We've got Slapody in the north. We got Freakin' Andy as the Portuguese flank. Capwatch, Malian's Pocket, and then Super Pocket, we've got Incas for the Slammer. In the purple, we have Miguel playing as the Magyars. The Pocket is Kingston playing as the Britons. And then we have in the red, Dogal playing as the Vikings. So, listen, I mean, there is some water on this map, but there's not near as many fish compared to previous games. Man, all the subs coming in. Holy crap. Thank you, guys. It means a lot. Again, water's a big factor, but the water isn't necessarily as economic here as maybe the previous map. And so what we typically see is the flanks and only the flank dock. Dogal could have big problems trying to win water if he does dock, though, because he cannot make fire galleys. So usually it's dock into a couple fishing ships, into maybe a fire or two, and then archers from this player. But here's the thing. Vikings don't get thumb ring. No one seems to think that Viking archers are that strong right now. So I think, here's a prediction. You ready? I think we see Dogal open 0 army on land and stone wall as the play. And if he can get the stone walls, he can then focus primarily on galleys to win the water. You can actually get Navy back here, which does something later on. And once those stone walls are down, I wouldn't be surprised to see him drop a market and sling his resources over to Kingston and over to Miguel. China did that a lot. It lost, and it also won games, depending on the game we're talking about. The Vikings always used to make Arbalest. What happened? Well, they removed Thumb Ring from the Civ, and they gave them an expensive unique tech in Imp to give them +1 attack instead. And so, no Thumb Ring is a pretty big thing to miss out on. And the only Civ that people will really pick to make archers with in a team game that doesn't get Thumb Ring would be Britons, and they have the extra range and the faster production speed, so. Yeah, I could be wrong on all that. Like, you could still just go archers that don't get Thumb Ring, right? And then, have double archer play, but then you're adding a dock, and you can't go archers and ships against a player who goes fires. Andy's Portuguese could easily go fire ships and Navy. So I think we'll see archers and scouts at least from Kingston and then Miguel. That's a guarantee. I can guarantee that Slam will make archers because he can't make scouts. I think Capwatch will go scouts almost certainly, but it could be archers actually. And then I think we'll see archers as well as some Navy for freaking Andy here. Once again, thank you guys. Forge, welcome back. I'm doing well. He says, hope you're doing well. T90 JDC emote. Oh, I remember that. Thanks for the cake, bro. IA, thank you. Welcome back. It's been cool to see. Oh, man, Villager went down here for Dogal. Freaking Andy ran along the shoreline here and sniped that Villager. That's a nice find. It's a really nice find. And also, Dogal tried to quick wall the Vill and failed. So he didn't actually take any HP off the scout. Dogal's not going to be happy about that. Drunk Goat was there too. So the cake I'm referring to, I went to London in 2017? 16? And I did a T90 meetup, and we had like 7 people. I didn't know how many people would show up. We had 7 people. And Forge, who's in chat, a.k.a. JDC, he bought a cake that fed 40 people. So we walked into this pub in London or whatever, and I asked them if we could bring in this massive cake and have an area to sit. And the guy didn't look that interested. But he let us sit in, like, the back area. And it was a T90 Woo cake. It had the T90 Woo emote on it, so. It's been a long time, man. It was cool. It was really cool. So, I'm still very concerned for Dogal. I wonder what Dogal's approach is going to be here. He's going to gold. He doesn't have the villager out here, so he can't make a second dock. We actually had Capwatch come over here and dock. So that's interesting. Sorry, I was too busy talking about cake. Andy goes double dock, so he will almost certainly win water. And Capwatch will have fish, which will not be the case for BarbeTacos. So an eco lead for Slapody, and normally you think, will the eco lead affect the military? And it doesn't seem like it's really going to slow them down that much. I guess the stable is already out for Miguel, so he will have the scouts out faster. And yeah, so that there is a window here with the early army, but the early army has to have some benefit. If they lose that early army, they've essentially gone for an approach that has less eco for the army, and then the army just hasn't done what it is needed to. They're really going to try and get that villager. And... Nope. Nice micro from both there, actually. The Capwatch continued to chase a little bit because he was worried about losing the Vil. So we do have a range for Dogal. So he is going to go archers. So there goes my prediction out the window. And lots of walls for Slapody, which does not surprise me. Guys, Slam is like one of the best players to give an archer flank and nothing else. Really, like he's so good at it. He's so valuable for his old team, right? Viper, Tato, Doubt, for so many years. And I think he's even falls into the category as like underrated, right? Like you think like top tier flank position player for Arabia style maps. I don't know if Slam's the first one that comes to mind for many. We do see stone walls coming up now. So, wow, we see stone walls from the army players. And Slam's still just palisade walling. Everyone else still palisade walling. Capwatch actually saving his villager here. But for the most part, this army advantage that was going to come for Miguel and Dogal and Kingston, it hasn't really done much. This is the main opening right now. And it's an easy Vil kill if they take the spear and then move and get the Vil. And then the archers could follow. Slam didn't get the walls down. Archers are over here now for Kingston. He's probably been told that his teammate is through and that he could try and go through that way. And you could tell everyone has heard about this because you also see Capwatch headed that direction. Now, Andy has gone water, and Dogal did as well, by the way. Dogal's trying to snipe fish. He hasn't sniped any yet. But Andy hasn't gone for any land army, which is really really surprising. Sorry, it's been a long day. You knew what I meant to say. Nice work from Miguel. I mean, you get Miguel into your base with Magyar scouts. He's not going to let you rest. He's going to really nerd out here, and that's why Capwatch is going to chase him down. Archers from Kingston just don't know where to go right now. Because he probably felt like if he tried to get here, it would have been a waste of time. And then he just sees house walls, so he doesn't know where to go. There are a couple archers being produced for Andy. But there's more than a couple for Dogal and more than a couple for Kingston. These galleys are actually running back here. Look at all the army that Slapody is using to chase this. It's pretty crazy. Galleys from Dogal just casually helping in the scout fight. That's wild, dude. That is some teamwork right there. And then, they're through into Slam space. Man, all the pressure right now, right? All the pressure. Game 5. Deciding game. Loser is out of the tournament. And the army hasn't led to many villager kills, but there's been a lot of control here for BarbeTacos. The other team hasn't been able to get over here at all. When they get there, it'll be stone walls. And it looks like almost completely stonewalled. Villager goes down there for Capwatch. Capwatch worried about the galleys. There are still some scouts around for Miguel. Doesn't look like they've done much. And most of the archers for Dogal and Miguel are going to go back. Okay, so I'm confused now. It's like, what do you do? I actually think, because the other team has a fish boom, I think that you are going to be later to Castle Age. And you haven't killed too many Vils either. So stone walls, for me, feels like a sling scenario, at least based on other games I've seen. But then you have 3 players playing army, so it doesn't feel natural. To just have one player not be able to upgrade this army in Castle Age doesn't feel natural at all. I could see, you know, Andy shifting away from army a little bit for this team. He only has 1 range, but I think more than likely he'll add another. And big scout engagement towards the middle. All 3 players looking to converge together with their teammates. And Dogal gets a little too close for comfort there, but has nice micro. And for the first time really in this game, they all meet in the middle. First player in Castle Age will be Andy. He only has 7 archers, though. Still matters. Second player in Castle Age will be Kingston with Britons. That's a big deal. And then third player in Castle Age will be, looks like Miguel. And then right behind him will be Capoch. Slam still hasn't clicked up. He's close. And Dogal hasn't clicked up. And Dogal's pretty close as well. But risky moments. Risky times. Slam looking pretty confident, but Slam just looking away. It's in like that moment he went to his market, I think. Okay, so here's a very random question. Random Slam question. Do you guys think Slam still has the go-to market hotkey, or has he changed it to select the market hotkey? So I ask this because a lot of people, before the select all market hotkeys, when you go to your market with the hotkey, it would take you to the market, which takes you away from where your army is. I recently changed it to, and a lot of players do this now, you do the select market hotkey, and that leaves you looking at the battle while the market thing pops up at the bottom left. I'm a big Slam fan. I don't want to brag, but I've been subscribed to his stream longer than anybody. I'm just kidding. I'm very proud of that fact. And I think he probably maybe has the go-to still. He still uses the classic sounds. You know, like a lot of people who play this game, you know, not a big fan of a lot of change. So now I only brought that up because he lost 1 archer. But it was an archer we expected him to save. And that's what matters. Crossbows in the middle. We'll meet up with Light Cav soon. Andy's got so little crossbows here. Where is he? Andy is out on an island alone right now. Dogal will join. Now, hold on. Oh my god. Andy is transporting around Light Cav from Capoch. Dude, this is so good. Again, you could use the water control for this type of thing, but I wouldn't have expected it. I think Dogal did. I don't know why Kingston has a villager there. Miguel is going to help out Dogal and chase this down, actually. It might not be too bad. But, you know, where it is bad is they can't focus on the middle, right? They can't focus on the middle because of all this extracurricular stuff. And it's just boom, boom, boom for Andy, Capoch, and Slam. This is so good for Slapody. Remember, based on the approach, that early army needed to get a snowball rolling in Feudal Age. It never really happened. They got into the enemy base, but they were never able to do much beyond that. Now, it's hard to consistently transport Light Cav in like this, so this won't be a continuous thing necessarily, but the threat is always there, and Andy could even add ships back here, at least in Imp. I do think we're going to have some massive fights towards the middle here, where, you know, the economies aren't as good for BarbeTacos, but the unit control seems great. Andy, just such an economic player, but he needs to be better with his micro there. He's got a dream of an eco. 2 TCs, fishing ships still. But he's lost some fights, and all 3 armies coming together. I'm just seeing a better coordinated effort when this team advances forward, BarbeTacos. We've got 2 groups of crossbows, so we've got like different volleys on different units leading to a lot of deaths, and they're going to be right through into Andy's base. Meanwhile, Slam is running back home. Meanwhile, Capoch is running back home. And if you wanted a snowball, this is it. This is a big problem. Andy's basically out of the game with army now. Now, you could dive. You could go deep into the eco. But what is guaranteed is if you take out a range, that hurts Andy's production, which is already a big issue for him. Slam's got 41 crossbows, but, you know, Kingston's got 35, and he's Britain's. That's perfect. You take out the range, the units that were in the range go down. All this new production is kind of a waste for Andy. And, oh, man, out of nowhere. I mean, there's still a nice eco lead for Slapody, but eco leads to military, and they don't have a player involved now. I still think Sling will come, by the way. I think the proper play is Dogao should stay in Castle and send a boost of res to Kingston to go Imp. Or maybe to Miguel to make more knights. But I think that the Viking player is going to benefit so little from Imp compared to the others. I'd love to see that move. I'm just obsessed with Sling, apparently, because, you know, ever since we've seen some teams do it. I think I brought it up more than it's actually happened. There's a lot of focus on the fights right now, as there should be, but this is horrible. Dogao's little force of 13 crossbows, able to do so much to Andy right now. KD should be all in favor of BarbeTacos. But Slam still got 53 crossbows. And we even have some, we're going to have some longboats from Dogao. Now that's an interesting little twist. Longboats back on water could be great. Yeah, Dogao's going to go back here on his own. I think Andy might ask Capwatch to go over there to clear that, because otherwise Dogao's just going to run around all the time. Dogao still has to micro the new army, but he's good enough where this crossbow army will continue to be microed and that mangonel will not get close. Andy's having big problems. I mean, it just continues to get worse. His siege won't get the hits. There's always an army on his face. Dogao is still microing like a madman back here. Knights from Miguel come in to take the mangonel. What crazy play from BarbeTacos. This is crazy. To get 3 knights back there for that? That's unbelievable, but big fight here. And remember, the Capwatch has an eco lead over Miguel, so he can afford to make more knights. We do have the same upgrades for both players, just that one extra attack, I guess, for Miguel. Britons have the extra range, so if you could stay in front of them and let them pick off the crossbows, that'd be great. But suddenly, there's no Dogao anymore. At least on land. Crazy game, guys. This might end up being the closest game in the whole series. The 1v1, I guess, between Dogao and Capwatch to start it all off was crazy. I think Dogao's longboats are going to be a pain. I think if they get back here, they're gonna be problematic long term. But now you have him with no activity on land, and Andy is back into the game with crossbow production. So I guess we'll see. I'm going to state the opinion again. Maybe you have the Viking player, especially now that his crossbows are kind of out of the game and a non-factor. Maybe you have him send all of his resources to a teammate here. I don't know how much that really changes. I think you would want to give food to Kingston and gold to Kingston to get Kingston an imp. Get that archer player an imp. There's so many archers. We'll see if they feel that desperate. Crazy game, guys. The longboats are still back here. Like, Andy's going to lose his TC to those things. Even more reason for them to push and try and kill Dogao here. If you need to stonewall behind, you do it. Oh, they're through. They're actually through. Ooh, but Capwatch might not be able to go in because then his teammate could lose his archers. The threat of it was enough. BarbeTacos will reposition now. One mix-up, one miss micro here, and you lose half your crossbows. Nice job from Kingston and Miguel. Capwatch is attacking the ranges. A castle from Dogao. That could easily be denied by Capwatch. Capwatch is going to see that. We still have the longboats back here, guys. That will only get worse for them. But the castle can't go up for Dogao. This is crazy. Remember, they are closer to Kingston and Miguel's base now, so it's easier for them to reinforce with numbers. Capwatch not in front. Honestly, the fight's looking okay for BarbeTacos. The castle will go up for Dogal. So many knights for Capwatch, though. I love the micro from Kingston, continually using that range. You can't get in close to these Britain crossbows. It's ridiculous. And as the fight comes in, there's more knights there for Capwatch, but there's just crazy crossbow numbers for Kingston, and there's a confidence with his control right now. And the longboats are still here. Like, even on just a patrol across the map, they'll eventually take out villagers and TCs. You don't really need to pay attention to it. That's why I think we're seeing Andy make fires now, but he can't get those fires over there. It is 350 pop for both teams. It was 349 technically, but for a game that has kind of been back and forth with eco and military, now it's pretty close in both categories. And every time I watch these archer engagements, you could just tell that the Britons have that extra range. The Kingston's had some dirty micro this game. And now, best of luck to you, Slam, microing against that, as you've got longboats in the back. So at this point, the Sling Dream's probably dead. Both teams have solid economies on their own. And I think Dogal's longboats are already doing well enough where you might want him in Imp. And you might want him continuing with Navy, right? Archers, he hasn't needed to make. So that's been huge for them. It's only been Miguel. It's only been Kingston. And there goes Dogal on the way to the Imperial Age. I apparently have dropped frames. Or if I did, I don't know. Refresh. Can't pay attention to that. 3 armies for Slapody in the middle. They've got more numbers here. So, risky times. I think that Miguel and Kingston need to back away into Dogal's base. That is also the Imp TC, which would be the craziest thing. Like, if that TC ends up being in jeopardy, horrible, horrible stuff, right? Imp for Capwatch. That's the Knight player. And Capwatch has had a crazy game. But before, like, he gets those upgrades, the longboats are going to be upgraded and ranging everybody's eco on this team. These things have killed 25 villagers. There's just this group. I love Kingston's micro. It's ridiculous. He's making it look easy. I also really like the castle here from Dogal, kind of towards the side, towards the wood line. Looks like Andy's got some eco there. And then a castle from Capwatch on the front. Miguel is getting Caravan in Castle Age. He hasn't even clicked up to Imp yet. His castle could be trebbed down. Wow, this is ridiculous. Chad, who wins this game? I don't know who to lean towards. Obviously, amazing stuff for Dogal here. Right? Dogal's in a great spot with the Navy. But Capwatch, if he goes Treb's Cavalier and busts through, Miguel's just out of the picture. Miguel's just dead. Seeing a lot of people saying tacos. Slam is going to be... I mean, everyone's going to be so annoyed with these longboats. Crazy play to get back on the water for Dogal. 30 seconds away from Imp is Capwatch. He's battering on the door and the production of Kingston, who's adding layer and layer of stonewall. Oh, no. Andy's base is wide open. This is wide open from before. It was never re-walled, and now Capwatch is going to get hit. Capwatch is his knights on the front, and Capwatch has to run home now. Oh, such an easy thing to forget. The Capwatch is fortunate he made it to Imp, right? Because like, this could have been the Imp TC. But now Capwatch with this big advantage. And Slam as well. Like, they've got to go all the way home. Beautiful timing for a fight there for Miguel. And then hopefully with his mobility, he can just run away. I mean, if they trap this army, if they could re-wall this right now and Miguel could never leave, that'd be great. But check this out. All Miguel has to do is go all over to these pesky elite longboats. And so the longboats help him stick around. What we haven't talked about is Kingston. So Kingston is going to have his work cut out for him to defend. but there's no longer any cav here. So the Trebs might not do too much at all. And Capuch and Slam and Andy, they all have to deal with this nonsense in the back of their base. And they're going to take losses just doing what they can to kill off these ships. I mean, you have no other choice. There's Capuch with his numbers now. Didn't click the Cavalier upgrade, which is kind of rough. Probably didn't have the resources when he did click it. And he's getting the final armor upgrade. Or, sorry, he has the final armor upgrade. Miguel spreading out with the Knights. It's going to do devastating amounts of damage. He's hitting everybody back here. He's got 6 different groups. Beautiful play. We got Slam coming in on water now. Not Slam, sorry, Andy, which I think is perfect. I think you need to do that, clearly. Miguel's getting his imp upgrades, but he's going to lose his castle. Slam is getting his imp upgrades, and he's still got lots of arbs, though he can't move forward with them. Kingston doesn't have Arbalest yet, but will probably get it. And I think one thing I definitely need to mention, as a quick wall's needed here, is that one team has trade, and that would be BarbeTacos. So, you know, if they can keep these units out of the trade, continue to trade, and hold the line here, should be good for them. There's still longboats back here that have to be dealt with. Andy is just like, he's going to try and make demos even to get these things. You can't ever trade if you're a Slapody if these longboats are here. That would be too close to the trade route. And poor Capwatch can't get through. Like, he can't get in to fight with his army, which is crazy. They've got more army, Slapody. They just can't get through the fortifications. Dogao also sending res to Miguel, so Miguel can get Paladin. I think if it becomes Magyar Paladin and Britain Arbs, that's the ticket to end this game. They can then leave their walls. They'll have a better army. There's still the Navy aspect from Dogao. There's still the trade. It might be the end. Oh, big demo shots from Andy. Okay, so Andy will kill this, and Slam can advance forward now. But Capwatch has lost both of his castles. More and more time ticking away as Miguel is massing Cav. We've got 15 trade for Dogao, about the same for Miguel. Kingston's just got 10, but there is 0 for the other team. And in a team game, guys, I don't think you can go for Vitórias as Portuguese. A lot of that pop for Andy is allocated onto water now. That might not change. And here we have it. It's 60 Arbalest for Kingston. He's going to shred these Cavaliers that don't have Farimba yet, by the way. They don't have the +7 attack. That's such an important upgrade for the Malians. And oh, and now it's up against Paladin. And this is over. There is just no way. Paladin has HP over the Cavalier. Base attack over the Cavalier. And then the +2 attack in this case with Blast Furnace over the Cavalier. You then have the Britain range, which has been so evident with the archers this entire time. And the patience from BarbeTacos just to sit behind those walls, to wait for these upgrades, and then to just push right out is amazing. And then you need trade to make any gold unit from here on out. Everyone needs trade, and only one team's going to have it. Miguel and Kingston will have constant production of these units. Slam and Capwatch will not. And the longboats continue to break in. Like, Andy has massed some skirms to try and help towards the middle. But for this team that I don't think has played together before. They may have played in another event that I've missed, but it's a new team, the Slapody team. This is where their road will end, I think. Population's not looking great. They do have a lot of castles here, so it's going to take time for the enemy team to take the castles down. But everywhere you look, there's just a crazy unit that they can't deal with. Dogao and Miguel has played together for 10 years. Kingston's a new addition to their team. A great addition, I think. Like, Kingston, what he did with the archers in the previous 2 games Well, was it previous 2 games? Yeah. It would have been this game, and the previous game is really good. I mean, they were behind in this game, but it felt like he fit right in. Because Miguel and Dogal have never really been fish boomers. They've never been boomy style players. They're always about the army and the coordination on land. And Kingston really helped with that. Kingston's had to have a stellar game because Dogal didn't have a lot of archers this game compared to him. That fight, maybe not the best for Miguel, but you still just have to think there's more where that came from because the trade is running. I would actually like to see if there's any risk as we have Dogal walling this, so the trade can happen, and he also has a cannon galleon. That's sick. What I would like to see is maybe even just like a castle here, just in case anything comes in on water later. Yeah, Dogal's like, you will not trade at all. I will make sure of it. And I don't even know if the wall is needed, but it's just one more thing. Did he just send... He just sent 4K wood to Kingston. Also, he sent 2,000 resources to Miguel. So, he's just going to send all of his extra resources to his team so they can continue to field this land army. It's actually a crazy hold right now from Slam and Andy and Capoch. Capoch did get Farimba, but he had 55 Cavalier without it earlier. I don't think they would have won the fight, but missing out on Farimba certainly hurts there. They lose the castle as well. Capoch placed the castle underneath the Trebs, and I think they're in a position where they kind of need this fight to be a winning fight. So you place the castle thinking, okay, we win the fight, the castle goes up, and then we push. And they're never going to win that fight. They're never going to get to trade, and the GG is called. What a series, man. Now, I don't know. I don't think this is combined. I guess maybe it is combined for the teams. If that's the case, crazy stat, right? 217 archers created for BarbeTacos. And then 325 archers created for Slapody. So I think that should tell you that Kingston had a pretty damn good KD this game. I'm sure Dogal did as well because of the longboats. Let's look at the value. Yeah, look at that. 2-1 KD for Kingston. 2-1 KD for Dogal. 2-1 KD for Miguel. And well, obviously, on the other side, it's not looking pretty good there for Slapody. And that's crazy to me because they had the eco lead. They had the army lead. But what they didn't have was just like that coordination. Like, it's a shame. They're going to look back at this and say that they maybe threw this series. And it's just because the position they gained themselves was so good headed towards Castle, right? They had all this army. They had a nice little start. They had good resources brought in. What they didn't have was Britons. But they still had the Malians, they had the Incas, they had the Portuguese. And then I'm going to take you to the moment. Okay, so I just want to show you, right? Like these guys, always together. Miguel, go back. Thank you. Always together, right? And then here, again, they've got a 20 eco lead as a team. Slam's got healthy archer numbers. Andy's going to get there. Capoch is going to get there. But here, they kind of split up. And they say, okay, let's go back. And they actually kind of went back almost like 1v1 players. Like, Capoch goes back to his stables. Slam's going back to his base. Andy's going back to his. And then the other team, they're marching forward together here. I think, like, maybe Capoch, if he had a gate here, like a stone gate, then, you know, Slam and Capoch go back here. I actually want to see. Because we just saw Andy getting destroyed. This is where it all started to fall apart. Yeah, and then they panic, and then they delete the house, and then they go back through. I really think, like, a little bit of that is just how... Like, and then Slam can't engage from this side, right? So then he has to go back in. He has to ask for a delete, maybe. Like, what exactly happened here? I forget. He's blocked off from his team. He has to go around. Yeah, like, this whole situation was where the snowball started, right? You give a good team control, they've got synergy, they get the army lead back, and I mean, there was still a lot more game to play. There was still a lot of crazy things that happened here. But that was probably where it all started to fall apart for Slapody. But you got to give BarbeTacos credit because there was no hesitation. They worked together and they always pushed forward. Their players were always in the same area when they needed to be, going for the right things. And I think Longboats was sick. I completely forgot about Longboats. I was like, well, their archers suck. No, their Longboats are sick. Longboats was an amazing play. So BarbeTacos moves on. Slapody is out. And I'll pull up the brackets here in a second. Woo! Miguel. Did you use the scroll wheel here? 357 APM. Sheesh. It doesn't really matter. He probably just like used his scroll wheel for something, and it averages out to that. But let's look at the bracket and see kind of what the playoffs look like for this tournament now. Spoilers, obviously, for all the other sets if you didn't watch any games this weekend. But the playoffs are decided. Here is the bracket. And you could see the setup. So we got Gamer Legion versus Wii Sports as the first quarterfinal. The second quarterfinal, Dreamers versus Suomi. That's basically Argentina versus Finland with the way those teams shape up. That should be awesome. Fox against BarbeTacos. Fox, young, talented players, seemingly very prepared. I think they're the favorites there, but BarbeTacos looked really good. And then we have My Insanity versus Lingwan B, who were kind of, I think, the biggest surprises of this tournament so far. They were the ones who beat Lingwan A yesterday. Watch that series. Spoilers now, but watch that series, guys. Watch the 1v1s. Watch some of the, watch some of the team games. It was crazy games. But the B team, basically the China B team beat Yo and Co. So Yo's team didn't even make top 8. So that's what things are looking like